And it says we're live. Gotta keep those loving good vibrations a happening with her. Gotta keep those loving good vibrations a happening with her.
Can't whistle. I get it. Otherwise, whistle through that next part.
Need to get one of those. All right, this is the sound check portion, folks. Let us know how we sound. And we'll get started here in a few. Lion face. Lemon face. Ooh.
Oh, God.
All right, we sound great.
I feel like absolute fucking like a hammered bag of assholes right now.
Hammered bag of assholes.
Yeah. We were at this Christmas party on Saturday, and one of the gifts was it was a jar, like a plastic jar of dicks.
Really?
They were like candy dicks.
Right.
There was like 2 pounds of them in there.
Yeah, they sell those. There's a candy shop that we first went to when we were in Vegas earlier in the year, and then when we went to Atlantic City, that same chain is like in Atlantic City, and yeah, they have a whole section of the store that's like candy dicks.
I prefer Satchel of Richards. I think is be more appropriate. Although I would if I had said container of dicks, it would have definitely ended up on my fucking desk today.
Yeah,
I don't know how well it would have been received, but you know what? I don't really fucking care at this point. Anyway, so we sound good?
yeah.
Did we get a
according to Miss
El Click A?
Miss Supergirl 3000 and Lunar Girl both said we sound great.
All right.
No clicks from Bronco Fett though.
He's still upset that we were singing Beach Boys stuff.
Yeah, which he's just got. You got to let it go, man.
Should be we should have like a Beach Boys interlude like each week. Like we sing something new. It'd be like but since you put me down, I've been out too and in my head.
Just to drive him away, is that what?
I come in late at night and in the morning I just lay in bed.
Which, by the way, I still need to listen to the latest Orange and Fett show. They talk about my favorite Christmas movie ever, Muppet Family Christmas.
Look so fine, look so fine. Everyone knew that was Help Me Rhonda, right? Ba-bum, bum, 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 bum. Help me, Rhonda, help me, Rhonda. Fuckers.
Oh, what are you doing with the Tom Brady pop there?
Like I said, it's a reminder for me for later.
Okay, but you have touched the Tom Brady pops, which
a little dusty.
Which I believe in the unwritten rules of. Okay,
we'll take care of that.
We went live.
We went live. No sign of Mr. Roskam.
Oh yeah,
sad face.
Yeah. I'm not really good with schedules, and tardiness or not tardiness. What's the opposite of tardiness?
Timeliness.
Timeliness, yes.
Which could be considered tardiness.
Yes.
From a certain point of view.
From a certain point of view.
All right. Are we ready?
I guess so.
We said 5:15, right?
We should have made like a Tecmo Super Bowl 30-second video with all of like the the animations, the halftime show, all that good music.
Yeah. Listen, Mr. Teleworking, you could have done that today.
You didn't remind me. So how am I supposed to know if you don't remind me?
You're right. You're right. You're right.
Thank you.
I'm making sure I'm close to the microphone this week. Closer. Closer to the microphone. Oh, my God. He worked so hard today. He did. He straightened up the studio. It's nice. It's vacuumed.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's you could tell. You could tell you worked hard today.
Thank you. All right.
When live, like when the scheduled airtime isn't the actual airtime. Yeah, what's scheduled
right
airtime? What is this, NBC? Like, what the fuck? scheduled airtime.
Family Matters didn't come on right at 8 p.m. What the fuck?
Obviously, something's going on, and some quantum fucking timeline didn't line up properly.
Yeah.
All right, I will be ready to go when you tell me you are ready.
My toast.
Sound recording.
Yes, it's recording.
Okay.
I guess we're
Source proper.
C.
3PO.
All right, let's do it.
All right. And deux, trois.
To NASA. Best of fortunes to you this week.
Yeah, it's a NASA.
So, assuming all goes according to plan, the James Webb goes up on Christmas Eve, Friday, at would you say like 7 something a.m.?
It's like 7:52, I think.
Yeah. And man, this has been something that I know a lot of the greater scientific community has been talking about for over a decade. Plebs like me have only known about it for like a little over a year, as I've been kind of like studying up on this kind of stuff. But even only thinking about it for about a year, this is a long time coming, and this could be huge. This could be really be huge.
Huge.
No, like legitimately, this could be one of the greatest accomplishments of mankind ever.
Yeah.
To go right up there with the moon landing.
Moon landings. I mean, the pyramids. I mean, I've read all kinds of articles. I think I shared a couple articles with you when I come across them, just describing what the level of scientific discovery that is going to happen when we finally be able to flip the on switch and start getting the first images from James Webb. It's fantastic.
Yep.
And I'm super excited.
Yeah, and we'll talk more about that later in the week, potentially. But that being said, hello, everyone, and welcome to the Sidebar Cantina, the podcast where we talk about Star Wars, pop culture, NFL football, or whatever the fuck we feel like talking about. I'm Mr. Jason Roskam. With me here each and every single week, the Randall Cunningham to my Joe Montana, Dave Martin. Hello, Dave.
Hello, Jason.
How are you?
I'm here.
I should have actually called you the NFL QB #1 to my Joe Montana, but
QB Eagles.
Yeah, we'll get into that a little bit later, because what are we talking about today?
We're talking about Tecmo Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Not to be confused with Tecmo Bowl.
No.
It is.
We will talk about the differences between the two and why one is far superior than the other.
That is right. Tecmo Super Bowl today, and playing it, some nostalgia, going back, especially looking at some of the names on those rosters.
Yeah.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
So yeah, it'll be good.
Yeah. But before we get to that, we've got a ton of other business to get to,
as per usual.
So why don't we get started with some of that Red 5 talk?
Yeah. So Red 5 top stories. We want to wish everyone a very happy holiday, especially to all of our Red 5 Network family and friends. A lot of them will be taking podcast breaks until after the holidays. So tune in to the socials regularly to find the adjusted schedules, especially to our at the Sidebar Cantina on Instagram. Luna Girl posts schedules for what's happening that day, that week, as far as the live stuff.
And then we change our schedule at the last minute.
As per usual.
Frustrating the hell out of her.
Yep,
but
that's our thing. That's what we do.
Yeah.
And we'll talk some more Red 5 at the end of the show.
Okay. So that's that.
That's that.
All right. Speaking of that, and this.
I see what you did there.
We do a segment on the show every week called This or That, where said social media director Luna Girl puts up a poll on our Instagram. And what is our Instagram, Dave?
I already said it. At the Sidebar Cantina.
Don't mess with the bit, man. This is a formula. We do this every week.
I can't stop adjusting the microphone.
What is wrong with you? Jesus. He's not even drinking today, folks.
I know.
Anyway, on her Instagram, she gives you two options. You
At the Sidebar Cantina.
answer the questions, and we go over the results here on the show. Obviously, talking about Tecmo Super Bowl, a 30-year-old video game from 1991. We're talking about some more video games from 1991, starting with a game that we talked about earlier this year, Sonic the Hedgehog. I'm getting a phone call from Burbank. Who from Burbank would call me right now? Burbank.
That's why you need to put your shit in Do Not Disturb like I do.
Yeah, indeed. Anyway, Sonic the Hedgehog versus...
You should have answered it. You should have just busted them on fucking...
Well, it would have been a fucking machine about my car's extended warranty.
Right.
Anyway, Sonic versus Wonder Boy in Monster World, a Genesis game that I have never heard of, but it looks very Zelda-like. Obviously, Sonic won this one pretty handily.
I didn't even know the other game.
Yeah, 98% to 2%.
Right.
So
sometimes you have to. So what I notice is like the other game usually is something that Lunar Girl has played.
Right.
So there's obviously
a slant to it based on the person creating the poll. Yeah.
So sometimes Lunar Girl's got to help us out with that because it's probably some obscure game that she encountered in her youth.
And I know we've all got those, right?
Yeah.
We've all got those games that was on like the clearance rack at fucking Toys R Us when Christmas is rolling around and your aunt's like, oh, well, I got to get Jason a Christmas present. He likes the Nintendo. I'll get him this $10 fucking budget game that sucks, but hey, I bought him a video game.
Yep. Yeah. It's like, oh, thank you. This thing, I'm gonna put it in.
2 words: balloon fight. That's all I have to say. But I digress.
Every once in a while, you find a good one.
Yeah. Anyway, I didn't even realize this game was that old. Duke Nukem, PC shooter, versus Super Castlevania 4, which I think that was an SNES game. Might have been both SNES and Genesis.
Right.
But
Duke Nukem.
Oh, it was Super Castlevania, so it would be Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
But, I think I picked Castlevania. I don't think I've ever played a Duke Nukem game.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I never had Super NES. Like we had an NES, and then had PC from that point forward until we had a PS1. So Duke Nukem, Doom, shit like that.
Yeah.
It was where my first person shooter addiction started coming in.
Right. And this one was pretty close. Castlevania won 52% to 48%. Next, we've got this is a good one for me. Metroid 2: Return of Samus. This was a Game Boy game. A Game Boy sequel to the first Metroid, or Mega Man 4, also on the NES. So, real quick, I picked Metroid 2. I don't know if I ever played Mega Man 4. I played the shit out of Mega Man 2 and 3, but by the time we got to 4, I'd kind of moved on from that series. But I remember playing the shit out of Metroid 2, and it took me a long fucking time to beat that game, too. It was difficult, it was long, it was confusing at times, but I eventually beat that fucker. Like, I was, like, hard-nosed. I am going to finish this fucking game.
Yeah.
So
I think I picked Metroid just because I had played it, but I never beat it. We did a whole episode on Metroid.
Yep.
Go back to episode.
yeah, Jamie looked that up.
Yeah, whatever episode that was. But yeah, we did a whole episode on that.
Yep, indeed.
Very good.
So Metroid won 59% to 41%. And then we have Ninja Gaiden 2, a Tecmo game,
Ninja Gaiden
versus Street Fighter 2.
Not even a competition. I was always Street Fighter guy.
Even though I've never been a huge fighting guy, like Street Fighter was everywhere.
Oh yeah,
at this
especially
time.
Street Fighter 2.
Yeah. Then it came out with the additions for the Super Nintendo and the Genesis, and this was around the time of Mortal Kombat as well. And
Japan.
Yeah.
Fucking going. Yeah, dude. Street Fighter, no doubt.
Indeed. And Street Fighter did win 82% to 18%.
Oh, you get.
Last one, we've got Final Fantasy IV, which is actually Final Fantasy II in the United States, or The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. So 2 Super Nintendo sequels. I went with Final Fantasy. I know this is probably blasphemy for any hardcore gamers out there because most people think that Zelda: A Link to the Past is the greatest fucking game ever made. Blah, blah, blah. It's like, I played through it once. It's all right. It didn't blow my fucking mind. But I love Final Fantasy 2, so yeah.
I think I picked Zelda just
for name recognition.
yeah.
Yeah. And a lot of other people did too. Zelda won 91% to 9%.
That's probably more than just name recognition. I mean, not every. I didn't play either of those games, so I went with name recognition. But
Yeah, fair enough. I did play both of those, finished both of them, and Final Fantasy II was by far the better game for me.
fair enough.
All right, so that was This or That. Thank you again to Lunar Girl for putting up that poll, and check us out again at the Sidebar Cantina on Instagram.
No Twitter poll this week.
No, nothing on Twitter.
Okay, just making sure.
Yep.
No 5-star reviews either.
I did not check for 5-star reviews. But Dave, while I check that, why don't you tell them what we do if we get a 5-star review?
If you get a 5-star review, if we get a 5-star review, we will read it verbatim on the air. No matter what, whatever you put on there, we will read verbatim, and Luna Girl will send you stickers. All you have to do is leave us a 5-star review, take a screenshot, send it to us via DM or whatever, and Luna Girl will see that and shoot you some stickerage.
And nothing new since last time.
Very
So,
good.
Sad
So
face.
get on it.
Yeah, thank you again for disappointing us.
Do it.
Listeners.
Bastards.
Anyway, we ready to get into our weeks?
I guess.
All right, so we're going to start off with a dual week thing. Because speaking of Luna Girl,
Oh, yeah.
she sent us a package in the mail. And she wanted us to open this together. So we're going to do it live.
Excuse me.
Though I got to say, the boxes look a very specific size.
Right.
So I already have a theory as to what might be in this. But we'll see. I'm watching Dave, just hoping... Actually, I kind of hope he does cut himself, just so it'd be very entertaining for the YouTube audience. Otherwise, like, they're just watching us. Now, are they labeled? Because, like, one's supposed to be for me, one's supposed to be for you. Or are they the same thing?
I don't know, but I think you're accurate in your assessment of what's going to be in these boxes.
Yeah. I've seen enough of these now.
You think?
Yeah. To know that... Is it the same thing?
I don't know. Look.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Oh
All
my
right.
God. OMD.
Ooh. Oh, that's beautiful. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see this on camera. It's a Dark Trooper from The Mandalorian. Oh, them shits are so sexy. With the fucking red eyes. Ah. I didn't know they had shotguns.
Yeah,
Like, it literally looks like he's holding a fucking shotgun.
right?
But that's awesome. And now
Look
we
at it.
we
Look
can-
at it in all its glory.
add them to the Sacred Jedi Pops. And thank you, Luna Girl, for this exquisite gift.
You are the best.
You are the best, and we're the worst because we got you nothing.
You don't know that.
Oh. I got you nothing. Merry Christmas to all.
Look at them. In all their glory.
Yep, they're things of beauty. Yes. All right. So we ready to get into it?
Now I am.
All right.
Now I have the fucking good pop vibes. Now I can fucking have a good podcast. I'm disappointed I didn't have a pop today. Now I've had a pop, thanks to Luna Girl.
Mm-hmm.
Now I can have a good day.
Okay. So I don't want this next section to kind of come off as angry straight white man ranting about inclusivity and things like that, but I have to draw a line somewhere, okay? We talked about we got into some of this stuff. I think it was last week when we talked about how the iPhone is racist and how the Google Pixel is like the most inclusive phone. Was that last week or the week before?
I think it was last week.
Yeah. So okay, I understand the whole desire for representation. I get it, right? Even as a straight white man who like has plenty of representation in the media,
Right.
I can understand. Like, for instance, 20% of the United States population is Hispanic. So if I was a Hispanic person and I never saw like any kind of representation in any kind of media, movies, TV, I'd be kind of upset,
Right.
you know, and be kind of like, what the fuck? So I get it, right? But I think the shit's gone too far and we've kind of crossed the line. This is mostly in reference to this new Disney movie, Encanto, which I don't know shit about.
Okay.
Okay? Don't know a goddamn thing about it, except for some fucking reason, because these fucking algorithms love to just piss me the fuck off, and they love to throw this shit at me. I have this fucking article and this video thrown at me. It's this the broad that does the voice of the main character in Kanto is talking about the inclusivity of the movie. Is it because of her race? Is it because of her gender? No. You know what it is? This is such an important movie because this is the first Disney movie that has a main character who wears glasses. Glasses. This is such an important movie because of that fact. I wish I was joking. I wish this was some sort of tongue-in-cheek kind of thing. I really, really wish that this was all just a big gag and they're like, all right, cut. Ha ha ha. What a funny joke. No, dead serious. Because we needed representation in the media for people who wear glasses. Because I felt so unrepresented up to this point, and now I can step outside again and feel validated because this main character in the Disney cartoon wears glasses.
All right. Let's pump the brakes. This is supposed to be a kids movie, right?
Yeah, it's a Disney animated movie.
Okay.
It's yeah.
So the idea is that we are representing somebody with glasses and normalizing it so that a little kid that might be nervous about getting glasses on is going to like, oh, you know what? Having glasses isn't so bad. Is that what we're trying to do with this?
I don't fucking know, nor do I really give a shit at this point.
And you know what? You know why I say that? Because, all right, maybe Disney not, but there's this movie franchise that I'm pretty sure the main character in this movie franchise was pretty well known for wearing glasses. Pretty sure. I know that Supergirl really knows this franchise really, really well.
Yeah.
That would be one Harry Potter who wore glasses. This is not, we don't.
Well, and this is the thing. That's what frustrates me about fucking, especially Disney and all of their fucking subsidiaries. They really are hanging their hats on these fucking, all these little checkboxes, all these inclusivity checkboxes, and that's how they're trying to fucking sell these movies. Is like, this is the first movie with a half Asian, half Puerto Rican, transgender female of color as the main lead, you know? So check, boom. That's why you should see this fucking movie. I saw another article. Again, these fucking algorithms are trying to kill me. They're trying to give me an aneurysm. I think it was in relation to the West Side Story, the new West Side Story movie that came out recently, which, I mean, it looks pretty decent. Something about Hollywood's problem with not casting half black, half Hispanic actors. That was literally an article about Hollywood not casting half black, half Hispanic actors.
Wow. Written by some white guy.
Probably. And I'm sure that the fucking glasses one was too. It's just like, oh my God, can we stop? Stop, please.
Oh, I'm going to give you one better.
Oh God.
I'm going to give you one better.
Mm-hmm.
What I saw, I'm pretty sure it was this morning. I was reading the Early Bird, which is, for those military people know, the Early Bird is kind of like this congruence of articles that have relevance for the day with out of the public media of what's kind of going on related to the military, right? It's just a collection of these articles, and it's all unclassified. And one of the articles for the Air Force was that the Air Force now has allowed the pronouns to be included in your email signature. Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
I think it's best if we just move on
I would
to the
agree.
next point.
But that's that this morning I was the Air Force is not doing itself any fucking favors with this.
I unfortunately I don't feel like I should comment on this.
I mean, neither should I. I still work for the fucking Air Force, but
Yeah.
it's just something that I mean, me personally, I don't think that the Department of Defense or the Department of the Air Force really has any business taking a particular stance on this. I really do. I think that inclusivity and things like that, there's certain laws that are built into certain things to make sure that you're not having, any adverse conflicts in the workplace and things like that.
Sure.
I think sometimes when you're doing things like this, you're actually making it worse. Like you're not alleviating a problem, you're actually highlighting it. You're making it bigger than it really needs to be.
Yeah.
Something like that's not making something more professional. Like an email is supposed to be a professional document, like not an Instagram post. Do you know what I'm saying?
No,
like,
no, I get you.
It's supposed to be. This is a matter of record. I mean, so that's where we are, and this is part of it. This inclusivity and everything else it's in marketing. It's in everything, and like you said, for some things, fucking kid would getting kids to feel better about them wearing glasses. Okay, I understand. Kids still get bullied for having glasses. Maybe they want to make a movie about that. Fine. Whatever. But not everything has to be a soapbox.
Right.
Not everything has to be a soapbox. Sometimes you can just make something be like, oh, you know what? A happy side effect of this particular movie, it would be entertaining and have a nice message, and maybe kids will feel a little bit better about wearing glasses. Not the primary movie. This message of this movie is to include kids with glasses. I have to talk about it at every presser I do because Disney told me to.
Mm-hmm.
Ha ha ha.
Yeah. So anyway, I had to bring that up because I saw it and I just got.
Can't see without his glasses.
As
Put his glasses on.
somebody who's worn glasses for the last 20 plus years, that actually offends me that they feel like this need to hang their hats on this thing. Look how great we are. We made a movie about a character that has fucking glasses. Anyway. So all of this stress is not really going to help my next point at all because tomorrow I reached the halfway point in life according to my estimations. So
That's right.
I've always said, kind of joked, like I just want to make it to 90, right? 90 years old. And every day after that, I'll be a fucking party. I'll be like snorting cocaine. I'll be, fucking
Hookers and blow.
Yeah, just joyriding, just doing whatever the fuck. Because every day after 90, you'll be like, woo! I woke up again. But, tomorrow I hit that halfway point, the 45 years. And, I'm starting to, I've always been obsessed with fucking my mortality and death. I don't know why. It's just been something I've been obsessed with for over a decade now. But, I've been thinking about it a lot as I'm getting close to 45. And yeah, I think I need to start getting back into the much more healthier lifestyle. And I need to kind of cut back on the drinking, honestly. As you can see, the audience can't see. But I'm only drinking diet soda today. So no alcohol for me.
Diet Dr. Thunder. It's the greatest Diet Thunder.
Yeah, Diet Dr. Thunder, man. It's good shit.
Yeah.
Okay, we just got derailed by the chat. Frederick Martin in the chat mentioned that our Dave, won't be happy until Disney has a lead who is left-handed.
Facts.
And that would be the representation that Dave...
Look, it is a right-handed world. And as a left-handed individual, I feel
Do you feel marginalized,
I
Dave?
am, dude, you have no idea. My entire life.
Well,
Cue the music. Cue the fucking violins in the background as I spin you a yarn.
Yeah. So, anyway, as I'm thinking about my mortality and actually wanting to try to make it to 90, I got to pull back on the alcohol. Do you remember several years ago when we were still working together, how I was starting to get like these fucking pains in my side, and I was seeing the doctor a lot, and they did some tests, and they said it's probably like an ulcer in my intestines. But the problem is, it would only happen when I fucking drank alcohol.
Right.
They're like, well, does it happen when you eat spicy food? I'm like, no. They're like, oh, that's weird. I'm like, it only happens when I drink alcohol. And they're like, huh. Yeah, it's probably just an ulcer. I'm like, okay, so they didn't fucking help me at all.
Right.
Well, that's been kind of coming back a lot lately. In fact, like, I've been feeling it pretty consistently since the last time we recorded. That was the last time I drank alcohol, by the way. It was last week's episode. And yeah, I've been feeling this
Those
fucking
10% beers and your fucking fireball shots.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't do myself any favors for sure,
Right.
but you know, I'm starting to feel this pain in my side again. So I don't know what the fuck. I got to start seeing a doctor about that. But either way, I'm gonna pull back on the drinking. Since I hurt my shoulder over the summer, I've been eating like a fucking asshole. I got to start pulling that back. So I hate calling it a New Year's resolution. It just happens to fall the same time as my birthday and everything else. But I'm going to start probably in the next week or so after the holiday. You know, getting back to the healthy eating. I'll dabble in alcohol a little bit, but for a while it's going to be very, very dry. And, you know, just try to get back to a healthy existence. And, you know, again, shooting for that 90. So.
As you should.
Yeah, that's all.
I wish I had more for you on that.
Yeah.
I think 90.
It's ambitious, I admit.
I don't know that it is. Honestly, these days, in my brain, like 86 is the number for me, and I'm well past that now. But you know, my grandmother, 97, still kicking it. But that's the anomaly in our family. Like I can't. But in fucking 15 years, who knows what fucking medicine's gonna look like?
Yeah.
You know, they could be growing you a new liver right now. You know, who knows?
See, I've been hearing that shit since I was a kid, and I have yet to see any of this crap come to fruition.
Well, I mean, we're not going to get into a philosophical discussion about what the medical community actually can do or what they will do. So, anyway.
So, besides that, all right, before I say anything about this last bullet point from my week, those of you in the chat right now, don't say shit about what happened in the newest Spider-Man movie, because we still have people in the chat and also who are listening to the audio episode who have not seen the new Spider-Man yet. Don't put any fucking spoilers in the chat, for the love of God, please. While I'm talking about this, I'm obviously not going to mention any spoilers, but I did see the new Spider-Man movie on Thursday, and I'll just say it was fucking amazing. I know you're not a Marvel guy, but this was different from all of the fucking Marvel movies. Even though it technically takes place in the same universe, this is a Sony movie. The same people who have been making all of the Spider-Man movies since like the early 2000s, going back to the Tobey Maguire and the Andrew Garfield Spider-Mans. So they're loosely associated with Disney in so much that, you know, they are shared universe, and Disney has some creative inputs to this, but it's really Sony doing their own thing. And you talk about like not trying to push a fucking agenda and just having a fun, enjoyable movie and fucking fan service. This movie did all of that. It was fucking fantastic. A great story, like very emotional, tons of fan service. It was the perfect Spider-Man movie. And I highly encourage anybody to go see it. It was a lot of fun, and I want to see it again. I want to see it in 4DX, which apparently it's a really good 4DX experience.
Okay.
Which we saw the Rise of Skywalker in 4DX a couple years ago.
Are those theaters open now, or?
I mean, I know some people have seen it in 4DX already. I know we have the one in King of Prussia near here, which if anybody in the Northeast wants to go see it in 4DX with me, hit me up.
Yeah, hit up Nick. He might want to go see it.
Yeah, because it was a fun experience, and it's one of those movies that I would actually see again in theaters. So,
hey, and you know what? I might go see it.
And trust me, knowing your feelings about the Marvel movies in general, I think you would still really enjoy this one. Because, like, did you see the other Spider-Man movies? Like, did you see the old 2000s, the Tobey Maguire ones?
I saw the Tobey Maguire ones.
Yeah. Because I mean, obviously, they bring the villains back from some of the other Spider-Man.
Yeah,
movies.
I mean, I've seen the commercials. You can't miss them.
So like Willem Dafoe is back as Green Goblin,
Right.
and fucking Alfred Molina as Doctor Octopus.
Right,
so
right.
that was really fucking awesome the way they did that, and kind of tied these universes together. So yeah, go see it. It's worth it. Come to 40X with me and Nick.
Maybe we'll see. Me personally, or if we're talking about movies, I want to see The Matrix.
Oh yeah,
because that's coming out.
Yeah.
And
like in a week, right?
Yeah, it's coming out real soon. So that's something I really am looking forward to.
Yep.
And I'm hoping it's good.
Indeed. So, all right, I've ranted and raved enough for my week. What about you? What have you been up to?
Listen, it's been
1 week since you looked at me.
It's been a shit week. Honestly, it's not been good. I'm not I don't have anything good to say about it. I want to give Helmet Fire System Matrix is this week on Wednesday.
Oh shit! So like 2 days from now.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. This is what I have for the universe when it comes to this week.
For those listening to the audio, Dave is giving 2 middle fingers to the universe.
And I don't want to dwell or get into details or anything else. All I'm going to say is that the holidays are stressful enough. And when stuff happens during the holidays, it's like added, right? It adds on to the additional stress. So my thing is like check up on people. Check out, see how people are doing. And I put on the screen for the YouTube audience I've put this up here before, but the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline 1-800-273-8255, which you can actually text that you can text hello to 741-741, and you can actually text the crisis line also.
Oh shit.
But yeah, it's reach out if you don't have somebody close to you that you can talk to and get a lot of this shit off your chest. I mean, I bounced a lot of stuff off of Jason before the show. I have a good network of friends and a good support structure at home, thank God. So I have a lot of outlet that way, and I have a good therapy team too. So
I'm sure that helps.
Yeah, it does, and you can't be afraid to use that. But it's the holidays and time. It's just it's a time of year where I think everyone's expectations are really high to have, like, this is supposed to be enjoyable, right? And Christmas time especially, it's like, oh man, I'm supposed to be really happy right now and I'm not. So it makes you extra sad and extra depressed. So realize that, maybe realize it in yourself and realize you need to make a call, or realize that somebody else might be hurting, and do them a favor and reach out. So again, that number for National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, it's 1-800-273-8255, and you can text them, and you text the word hello to 741-741. All right, and that is it for my week.
All right, sounds good. Do we need to take a break or anything before we get
good?
All right, yeah, I think I'm good for now too. No alcohol, so not having to pee nearly as much. So, all right, let's just get right into it then.
Yes.
Tecmo Super Bowl released. So, I was trying to find a release date for this. There's an exact release date for Japan, which was like December 14th or some shit. But for the US and North America, it just says November of 1991. Can't quite figure out why that there's no exact release date. Then, maybe back then they might not have kept good track of that kind of shit. It just kind of showed up when it showed up.
Like, hey, this is when the trucks made it to Toys R Us that particular day.
Mm-hmm. So
yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, but yeah, released December of 1991, 30 fucking years ago.
It's insane.
Yeah, because I remember when this game fucking came out and the excitement around it. Ugh.
Which is funny too, because you think about it, the Tecmo Bowl wasn't the greatest game, and we're going to get into that.
Yeah, because the first Tecmo Bowl came out in 87 in the arcades and 89 on the NES.
Right.
So a couple years prior to this, and I remember playing it a couple of times before Super Bowl came out, and we'll get into it when we talk about our history, but this is just about the time I was starting to really ramp up as a NFL football fan.
Right.
I remember playing that first Tecmo Bowl going, this fucking sucks. What else can we play? Do you still have Zelda?
Right.
So, yeah, because you talk about the first Tecmo Bowl, you had 4 plays. Like, you could only run 4 fucking plays. It had some NFL players, but it didn't have NFL teams. It's like your Retro Bowl that you play now.
Right.
That was very heavily inspired from Tecmo Bowl, where it's like you have the cities. And it was like 8 cities. Like San Francisco, Detroit, Green Bay.
You say that, but Retro Bowl has all the teams.
Well, I'm just saying, like, the original Tecmo Bowl only
Right.
had like 8 or something, and it was like just the generic cities and not like actual team names.
Right.
And they had a deal with the Players Association, so you had some players in there. Bo Jackson, who we're going to talk about a lot today, was in that. So
Bo knows.
yeah, but ultimately, the gameplay is very similar to Tecmo Super Bowl, but the gameplay in Super Bowl is much more refined, and you have a bigger playbook. A lot more options going on. So yeah, Tecmo Super Bowl is where it was at. And a couple of things that I like to do when we talk about old video games is, first, I like to see how much you can get an original game for.
Okay.
And right now on eBay, you can get an original cartridge between $30 and $50. So not bad. Like, some games, they age like a fine wine and they get super expensive to get the original over time. This one, fairly average, probably because a shitload of them were made and sold over time.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So the fact that it's still pretty cheap, respectively, makes sense. Sidebar, though, apparently it is a lot harder now to find authentic copies of retro video games, like even on eBay, because I guess with like old Game Boy games, NES games, any cartridge-based video game, counterfeits are like fucking everywhere right now.
Really?
Yeah, like a shitload of counterfeits all over the fucking place. And you have to read like the reviews of the seller, because I was going to buy an old DS game, I think. And I'm like, wow, that seems awfully cheap for this game, because like everybody else wants like $60-$70 for this fucking game. And I just happened to read the reviews or the feedback of that seller, and it's like, got the cartridge, it was not authentic, it was just a counterfeit copy, only worked for a week and then died on me. So I'm like, oh, okay. So you really, when you start looking for retro games on eBay now, you have to look for that authentic label, and you still want to do your due diligence and read feedback on these people and make sure you're getting it from a good seller.
When you said that, I was like, is there somebody who's making these copies that it's like legitimate? Like, I would say you don't care if it's an authentic version, you just want to play the game. Like, do they make cartridges for that, or are you just stuck with using a regular emulator, like a Raspberry Pi or something like that?
That I'm not sure of, but I've also seen websites that talk about like the differences if you're trying to figure out if the cartridge you have is authentic. The fucking screws on the back,
Right.
the labels, certain like the Nintendo's quality seal, like those things will be different if you're doing like a side-by-side comparison. But as far as a cheap alternative, I don't know, but they're still selling them for like damn near normal game prices. So
they're trying to rip you off, is what you're saying.
I think so, yeah.
Fair enough.
Allegedly, they still kind of work, but they'll break easier. And I think at this point, you're better off probably just playing an emulator, because that's how I played Tecmo Super Bowl, this time around. Though I do have some games that we're going to look at, like some physical copies of games we'll look at as we get to the sequel talk. But something else that I always like to talk about are speed runs. I love looking at speed run records for retro games when we go back and talk about this stuff. So for Tecmo Super Bowl, there is a speed run record for starting the game like week 1, picking a team, starting a game week 1, and going all the way and winning the Super Bowl.
Okay.
And that record is 3 hours, 26 minutes, and 16 seconds.
So that's nonstop?
Nonstop.
Like, hit the clock.
Yep.
Just play nonstop for 3 hours, 26 minutes.
So And I'll tell you how they did it because I watched the video for how the guy did it. And it's actually pretty funny. As you were playing, I don't know if you noticed, but the game clock, even though each quarter is 5 minutes, it's a pretty accelerated clock. It's not like normal seconds. It ticks by pretty fast, but the clock always stops for like going out of bounds, or even when you go back into the menu to call your play. There's times when the clock still stops.
Right.
So to just like make the games go as fast as possible, what they do is they pick the Raiders, they hand the ball off to Bo Jackson, and then they just do fucking circles, dodging the fucking defenders for that whole 5 minutes of the game clock. And then they either run in for a touchdown or they just let themselves get tackled and then continue on. And that's how they get through each of the 16 games so fast. Is they'll just pick Bo Jackson and they'll just fucking dodge defenders for fucking 5 minutes or 5 game minutes. It was
so there's really, well, I guess you still have some RNG in there, right?
Oh, there is, yeah, because like, you know, if they like call your play, which we're going to talk about the way the defense works in this.
Right.
If they call your play, you're fucked, right? Because you can't dodge them when they do the all-out blitz.
Right.
So yeah, there is a random element to all of this. And even watching this guy do his world record speed run, he got tackled a couple of times as he was, you know, just running around the field trying to dodge fucking defenders. Eventually, one would fucking catch him and tackle him. So there is still definitely time to be gained in this world record, which it makes me think if I was retired right now, I'd totally like try to beat this.
Why? Although, like, this is not the kind of game, like, when I saw this in the notes for a speed run, I'm like, why would you speed run a fucking football game? That makes no sense. Like, you're sitting here like, you know what? I want to see how fast I can go through a whole fucking season. Ready, set, go. Like, how fucking... That's no fun.
But that's what they do, man. That's why retro gaming is so popular for shit like that.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I thought it was hilarious. The fact that they pick, of course, Bo Jackson, because he's the fastest motherfucker in this game.
Yeah, as he should be.
Yeah. And, they just run around.
As we talk about the athletes that are in the names in this thing.
Oh, yeah, because this thing is like a time capsule in
yeah.
football history, which is fucking great. So, real quick before we get into that kind of stuff, let's talk about our history with the game, because we always do that too. For me, we knew it was coming out, like me and my group of friends. We were all, again, just starting to get big into being NFL fans. Obviously, I was becoming a 49ers fan. The first full NFL season that I watched and paid attention to was the 1990 season, so the year before this. That was the year, which, fuck you, Lunar Girl, was the one where the 49ers were coming off of 2 straight Super Bowls, back in the number 1 seed in the NFC, on their way to a three-peat, and they get fucking ousted by the Giants in the NFC Championship at home. That was the game where Joe Montana gets sacked from behind and doesn't play another snap of football for almost 2 years.
That's the LT, right?
Well, see, he dodged LT just in time for one of the other fucking linebackers to crack him from behind. And, that moment is fucking etched in my brain for all of eternity. So, fuck the Giants. Fuck Lawrence Taylor. Fuck Matt Barr, their fucking kicker, that piece of shit.
I wonder how much of those linebackers were all coked up. You know,
well, we know LT had to have been.
Yeah, you figure LT's all coked up. They're like, man, LT's doing it. Maybe we should be doing it too.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, that was the first full NFL season that I paid attention to. Was that 1990 season where the Niners lost in the playoffs, and then I was hooked from there. Like I was all in on the Niners, all in on the NFL, hardcore fucking fan from that point on.
Excuse me.
And obviously, this game came at the perfect fucking time for that. And me and my group of friends, we played the shit out of it. Literally, I've got to have hundreds of hours played into the original Tecmo Super Bowl.
Wow.
And probably another 100 plus in other sequels to this game. So I know this game very fucking well. And there was one sleepover that we had at my friend Austin's house where we had this game. It was still fairly new at the time. And like the 5 of us all picked a team and we played through an entire season that night. When our team came up, we fucking played. And I think I ended up winning the Super Bowl in that one because I was the 49ers, obviously. And yeah, I think I ended up beating everybody else in that. But yeah, that was like a crazy sleepover we had. Like nothing but fucking Tecmo Super Bowl for like an entire night.
That's almost cheating though. It's like, well, I guess if the other somebody probably was the Raiders.
Somebody
right?
was the Raiders. Somebody was the Lions, because Barry Sanders was a thing.
Yeah.
Oh, and the Chiefs, because I had one friend who was like a hardcore Chiefs fan too.
Right. Chiefs didn't have much going for it those days.
No, that was right before Joe went over.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, that's kind of my history with the game. What do you remember?
Listen, it was a game that I knew when it came out, and played a little bit over a friend's house. I never owned a copy of it myself, and I really we had growing up the LED football. The old LED handheld LED football game where you go up or you go down. The passing, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And you talked about how Tecmo Bowl was before with very limited play calling or whatever. So Tecmo Super Bowl,
Tecmo Super Bowl.
Tecmo Super Bowl was nice because you had different play options.
Yes.
And so it made it a little bit more fun. And at the time, it was fun to have the rosters and stuff too. But I never played a season of it because I didn't have the game. So whenever we played it, it was always like
just a quick one-on-one match or
just
something.
Just like a playoff, or we'd go and do the Pro Bowl shit, right?
Right.
So I never really got into it. And for as far as the Game Boy, like in right around the same time frame, I had the NFL Football Game Boy cartridge.
And I think I had that as well. I think I might still have my fucking Game Boy cartridge somewhere of that.
The NFL one? Yeah, it's got all the helmets on it.
Yep.
Yeah, I still have mine as well. And it was not a great football game. But, I mean, it was something. Really, it just wasn't, I don't know, I just didn't really get into it. Paled in comparison to, playing or watching it for real.
Sure.
And doing other stuff. Really, what I think was cool, the coolest part about this was this having the rosters.
Yeah.
And
that was huge.
And then once, like later in life, playing like NCAA and then getting into Madden a little bit, that was a fun part of it. It was like being able to have your player and do shit like that.
And this was really the genesis of that, and of a bunch of other things that carried on, like the tracking of your stats throughout the course of a season.
Yeah.
That all started with fucking Tecmo Super Bowl, where if you picked a team and you played through the season, at the end of every week you could go and you could see like where does Joe Montana rank and all the other quarterbacks in the league, where does fucking Bo Jackson rank and rushing and all that stuff.
Which is pretty amazing. You think about it, 1991 technology in a cartridge.
Yeah. And it was fucking great. And it's really a fucking window, like we said, into 1991. And not only the rosters, but of the league and the teams in the league, because there were no Carolina Panthers or Jacksonville Jaguars or Houston Texans in this. But what we did have was we had some Houston Oilers.
Right.
God, who else did we have in this?
Oh,
we had the pre-Ravens Cleveland Browns.
I took pictures of each team just so I would have it for the show. I wonder if I took a picture with all the teams. Yeah, so yeah, Buffalo, Indianapolis, Miami, New England, the Jets.
And you just read the old NFC East, because we had the old divisions in this too, when it used to just be the East, the Central, and the West.
Yeah. The Jets, Washington Giants, Eagles, the Phoenix Cardinals, Dallas Cowboys, Cincinnati Bengals, Cleveland Browns, Houston Oilers, Pittsburgh Steelers, the Bears, the Lions, the Packers, the Vikings, the old creamsicle Tampa Bay fucking
yeah.
Vinny Testaverde's fucking Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Oh, good old Vinny.
Denver, KC, Raiders, the San Diego Chargers, Seattle, then San Fran, the Rams.
The AFC Seattle Seahawks, mind you.
Yeah.
This is back when Seattle was in the AFC, so
New Orleans and then the Falcons.
Yeah, so it's the old teams, the old division structure, and the old playoff structure. Because
wow.
You right there?
I hope so.
Dave just had an aneurysm live on the air.
I hope not. It'll stop ringing eventually.
Okay. So anyway, talking about the teams and the divisions, and of course the rosters, which I pulled up just the rosters for the Eagles and the 49ers, but there's so many notable players. Obviously, I've already talked about Joe Montana and Jerry Rice on the 49ers, John Taylor, Roger Craig. Some people may not know who any of these fucking people are, but dude, I remember all of these guys like it was yesterday. And for the Eagles, you obviously had, your backup quarterback was Jim McMahon.
Yeah, which is fucking crazy to think about.
Your starter was QB Eagles, number 0.
Yeah, because Randall, you have it here in the notes, but Randall wasn't, wasn't part of the NFLPA's marketing contract for this. So
yeah, him and Jim Everett and Bernie Kosar.
Yeah, whoa! I'm sure the Browns were so upset.
Yeah.
But I think the stats were Randall Cunningham though. Like
the intent was that it was supposed to be him. They just couldn't actually use his name.
But that 91 Eagles team was it was not good. Like sitting here looking at this, I don't know how we're.
Well, I'm looking at the roster. Like I recognize Keith Byers, the running back's name.
Right.
I don't recognize any of these other people's names.
Yeah. So Fred Barnett, he was. Yeah. Mike Quick was a good wideout.
Oh, this is when Reggie White was still on the Eagles.
Yes.
Oh.
So Keith Jackson was a really good tight end, above average tight end. Mike Quick was an above average wide receiver. He went to, I think, 4 Pro Bowls. Fred Barnett was kind of a flash in the pan wide receiver. We kind of wasted a high draft pick on him. Keith Byers was not. He was the fullback, but it got a lot of carries. Heath Sherman was a fucking.
Yeah.
And then on defense, this is when this Eagles defense was the storied Eagles defense. This is the Buddy Ryan era.
Yeah.
Fucking on the line you had Clyde Simmons, Mike Golick, Reggie White. Then you had, for the linebackers, you had Seth Joyner, Byron Evans. Then you had fucking Jerome Brown, Small, who's really wasn't anybody. But then the DBs, you had fucking Eric Allen, who was.
I remember that name. Yeah.
Yeah, he was a big time corner. And then Smith Hopkins, whatever. But Andre Waters was a fucking destroyer of careers. Like, this dude would go out, and he has since passed. I think
I've noticed that about a lot of people on these rosters too. I'm like, that guy's dead. That guy's dead.
Well, I think he had a CTE where he would go, and this dude would play to hurt people.
Yeah,
and
back when you could.
Yeah, and I was thinking,
and not only was it not frowned upon, it was encouraged.
Yeah, he was literally the guy that was out there that would be aiming for people to, like, I'm going for their fucking knees, I'm going to do this shit.
Yeah.
And he would be fucking angry about it. And he would lay a hit on him. And Luna Girl was like, we didn't like Waters. Nobody did. We loved him.
Of course.
As a fan sitting in the vet, fucking, we wanted Andre Waters to go fucking kill somebody because our offense wasn't doing shit.
Right.
We're watching an offense go with 3 and out. We want our defense to fucking hurt people because that was the only thing worth watching in the game.
Right.
The game that we could barely see. I mean, fuck, the screen. That's about what the field looked like, from where we were sitting in the vet.
Yeah.
But, yeah, before Jerome Brown passed, because when did he die? 93? When did Jerome Brown die? Jamie, look that up.
Yeah, I have no idea.
That honestly, if that defense was so fucking good, and it's a shame that we weren't able to do more with it. To be honest,
right. Well, and I think about that when I think of the Raiders in this, because I look at the Raiders roster. They had like fucking Bo Jackson, Marcus Allen was their backup running back. They had fucking Tim Brown as their receiver. They had all these really good weapons on offense, and that team couldn't do shit either.
92, Jerome Brown passed.
Wow.
76 games played, he had 29.5 sacks.
Wow. That's insane.
Yeah.
So, some other notable players that were in this game: Bo Jackson, as I mentioned, Barry Sanders, Thurman Thomas, Warren Moon, Lawrence Taylor, Mike Singletary, Rod Woodson, Bruce Smith, Reggie White, just a bunch of Hall of Famers in this, and some people who are no longer with us. And for the 49ers, this was kind of a transitional season because, and really even for the Raiders, because I mentioned the season before that I had watched, that 1990 season, the playoffs in that season had two very key injuries that aren't reflected in this game. One, Joe Montana, because he went down in that fucking playoff game against the Giants, didn't play another snap for almost 2 years for the 49ers, and that was one game before they shipped him off to fucking Kansas City. And Bo Jackson. Bo Jackson, I was watching that game when he went down too. Playing against the Bengals, fucking dude does a weird tackle, fucks his hip, never plays another down of football again.
Yeah.
So
never plays anything again.
I thought he didn't play baseball after that.
I don't think he played in a pro game again.
Okay.
He might have tried to go back into spring.
Yeah. I thought he at least tried to play baseball again, but yeah, he was fucking done with football. Because yeah, that was a devastating fucking hip injury. And both of those two are very prominent players in this game that's supposed to reflect the 1991 season.
Right.
But obviously that didn't happen because in the real 1991 season, for the 49ers, Steve Young was our quarterback for most of that year, and he got injured several times, and Steve Bono came in, if you remember that fucking name, as our quarterback for part of the season. It was crazy, but you know, this season accurately reflects what that fucking NFL season was as far as like which games were in which week and everything, because in the very last week, the last Monday Night Football game in week 17 of that 1991 season, the 49ers played the Bears in real life. And at this point, the 49ers went into that game already eliminated from the playoffs because, again, Steve Young transition, blah, blah, blah. Right. They were 9-6 going into that game, and the Bears had already clinched a playoff spot. The Niners beat the piss out of them, went to 10-6. And I remember the commentators being like, yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of teams right now that are happy the 49ers aren't making the playoffs. So, yeah, the Bears got their fucking dicks kicked in on their way into the playoffs, and I think they got bounced in like the first or second round. So.
Just to follow up, I was looking at Bo Jackson. He did play. He played for the White Sox.
Okay.
After the hip replacement, I think he sat out one season and then he ended up playing a handful of games for the White Sox.
Yeah, so it was really ironic that he is by far the best player in this fucking game when it comes to like speed and stats. And he actually didn't even play in the 91 season. His career was already done at that point. But I'm sure there were already agreements in place, and he was kind of the face of...
Bo knows. I mean, he still... Even after the injury, he still had a huge marketing campaign going.
Oh, yeah.
For years after
Yeah,
that.
those fucking Bo knows commercials. We all saw those growing up quite a bit.
Yeah.
And I fucking hate him. And that's the thing. Like, I fucking hated the Raiders, so I hated Bo Jackson. But in hindsight, I recognized just how incredible of an athlete he was. The dude was a fucking beast. Watching him run.
What was I watching? I don't know if it was his 30 for 30 or whatever it was when he's like, because he's an avid like bow hunter. So he'll do like archery competitions.
Nice.
Like, and it's just ridiculous, like how strong he is still. And it's like just that type of just born natural athleticism to be able to just like, I'm going to take this thing and use my body to its in the most perfect state it can be to fucking do something, like throw something or catch something, or it's just amazing to have that type of ability. Just it was awesome to watch. It was just awesome to watch.
Yep. Can't kill the athlete. So, getting back into the game itself, let's talk about some of the gameplay, because we've kind of been talking about all of the stuff outside of the actual video game itself and the playing experience of the video game. It's a very fast-paced, arcade-style game, but it's so fun to actually play a game of this. Like, actually get in there, and honestly, depending on which team you're playing, it's either like all passes or all runs, because there's no the AI isn't smart enough to kind of like punish you for running the same play over and over and over again.
Right. It's not adapting. It's saying, okay, you chose this play. I'm going to have this RNG to counter it, basically.
Yeah, but I mean, especially the passing game, if you're playing like a real pass-heavy team, it's so fun. You snap the ball, and then you got to hit the A button real quick to cycle through your receivers, and then once you get on the one that you want, then you hit the B button or vice versa, and it fucking throws the ball. But very, very fast-paced, sort of arcadey style football game, but it's so fun.
Yeah,
it's on the offensive side.
It took me I think you mentioned that you played it on an emulator.
Yep.
I played on an emulator as well on an Xbox 360 controller.
Yep.
So it took me a hot minute to get the controller figured out. I had to go online and like look at, all right, what the fuck am I doing here? Because like you talk about when you're actually selecting the play, you have the screen. It shows you the plays, and it's got like things blinking at you.
Right.
And you're not selecting like by like say the thing is flashing pink at you. That doesn't mean like, hey, select this to do that. No, you hold the thing and select A to run or B to use the pass function.
Yeah.
Right. And
yeah, because it's like you have to do a combination of either the A and B button and one of the directions, and that corresponds with one of the 8 plays.
Right. And I was looking at it going like, okay, the run plays are on the top, the pass plays are on the bottom. I would think that I'm selecting a pass play and it would fucking run. The guy would just, I'd have him run. Like, what the fuck is happening? Like, so I had to I went through a whole quarter. Like, what is happening here? So then I ended up fucking going online, downloading the book, the booklet that would have came with it.
Yeah.
Like, fucking ring. Oh, fuck. Okay. That's why. And then
funny.
I played it again. And of course, I played the first thing I did when I logged in. I played Eagles versus the 49ers because fuck you, right? The idea was I'm gonna jump on here. I'm gonna beat up on the 49ers. Yeah, no, sadly no.
No.
Montana and Jerry Rice had themselves a good old time against the Eagles that day because I couldn't get off of blocks to get to Montana.
Right. And that's the thing. Playing defense in this game is not nearly as fun as playing offense.
Yeah.
Because it's so random. Because you don't select like a defensive formation or anything. Because you're doing the same thing that they're doing. You're picking one of the offensive plays, and you're just trying to guess what they're going to run.
Right.
So this way, if you do pick correctly, and you pick the play that they are, your team just all out blitzes them and just like completely fucking just shit wrecks the quarterback.
Right.
99% of the time. But there's no strategy outside of that. You pick a defender and then you control that guy fairly, and you try to break up the play, which almost never happens.
Well, I haven't played a Madden game in the past couple years. Let's say maybe in the past year, let's say couple years.
Yeah.
But really, this is how football games still are. Like that retro bowl game that I play, it's that way. You don't even see the defense. Like it just plays the defense out for you. Like so you're just like, okay, you play the offense and then it goes to the defensive side and you get the ball back. Yeah. So it doesn't even have the pretense of whatever the defense is doing. With normal, like even with Madden, you're selecting a defense, but you don't see what they're selecting.
Right.
Like, so you're doing it situationally, right? Okay, this is a 3rd and long. So what are you going to do? Like, are you going to go into a 4-3? You're going to go 2 deep safety? You know, you have options to decide what you're going to do based on the situation.
Yes.
So you do have some option, but you're not really like, you're not a defensive coordinator looking to see what, you know what I mean? Like, you're not really you're basically doing the same thing. It's kind of a guess. Like, okay, this is the situation. I'm going to guess at what this formation is going to be.
Yeah. Now, especially against the AI, it really is just a crapshoot. However, when you start getting into the multiplayer, depending on the person you're playing against, if you like know that person really well and you know the types of plays they like to run, that's when it becomes a lot more strategic. Because obviously, me and my best friend growing up, we played the shit out of this game and we played against each other a lot. And I knew the plays that he liked to run the most, and he knew
Right.
the plays that I like to run the most. So it was kind of a guessing game. Like, oh, is he going to actually run his normal play, or is he going to try to swerve me? And
Or is he going to throw to this guy, or is he going to throw to a different guy?
Mhm.
Yeah, because I found myself falling into familiar patterns, especially like button hook routes.
Oh yeah,
Because they were easy first downs.
Mhm.
And I'm like, oh man, I'm really getting predictable on this.
No, so I played a couple of games over the last week. I played with the 49ers. I ran 2 different plays the entire time, 2 different pass plays,
Yeah.
and nothing else. Right? It was either this pass play that had a couple of different routes or this pass play that had the long routes. And that was it. And that's all I needed to do. And it was just a matter of reading the defense and seeing which player got open and then just toss it to them and Bob's your uncle.
Yeah, running plays were difficult.
Well, but when I played with the Raiders, I actually played a game with them this morning with Bo Jackson. Again, only ran 2 different plays, but they were both run plays. And I posted this in the Sidebar Cantina Facebook group today. I had 30 rushes with Bo Jackson for 577 yards. And I think it was also 7 touchdowns, but it didn't show that.
Oh
so,
my god.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah, and that was 2 different plays I just alternated between.
Bo knows.
Indeed he does.
500 fucking yards. Holy shit.
577, thank you.
Jesus Christ. That's
Uh,
funny.
But yeah, so a lot of it's luck with the defense, except when you're playing against another player. So I don't know how they could have improved on this at this point in 1991, but I mean it was sufficient, I think. But
yeah. Well, think in 1991, probably just being able to have like, oh, here's rosters. Like you get to see your favorite players, right? You see their names anyway. It's obviously not their likeness. You're looking at a little.
Oh yeah, they're all the same template.
8-bit blob that when they dive suddenly turns into like they go from this tall to that long.
Yeah,
when they're fucking diving at you.
Mm-hmm.
You're hitting the A button a lot because you're locked up on a player, especially on defense. Like,
yeah, trying to break free and then get at
trying to get to the guy
with the ball.
It makes me wish that this was that I had this on the. I guess was this on the Super Nintendo?
Yes.
The 30. No, the mini that it came out.
No. Well, okay, it was on the NES Classic, but it was Tecmo Bowl. It was Tecmo Bowl without the players and without the teams.
Okay, but this game.
Tecmo Super Bowl, no. In fact, they can't really like re-release this as is for a multitude of reasons, because first of all, Madden EA has the lock on the NFL license at this point. They've had it for like 15 fucking years now, which is fucking horseshit, but we'll get into that a little bit later. So yeah, they've released subsequent versions of Tecmo Bowl. They've even gone with like this DS version of the game that I have that's like 10 years old. They did like a fucking download only game on like the Xbox Live that are it's technically Tecmo Bowl, same gameplay style and everything, but it's like no players and no fucking official NFL teams.
Okay.
It's very much like your Retro Bowl, pretty much. So you kind of get the same thing, but it's really not the same. So, but whatever. I forget where you were going with that.
I don't remember.
So we kind of touched on it already a little bit, but there's very interesting animations in this.
Wait a minute. What?
What?
I just saw this.
Oh, wow. That's relevant. Lunar Girl just posted in the chat that there is currently an arrest warrant out for Lawrence Taylor on felony charges for not reporting he is a sex offender in the new town that he lives in.
Yeah. So if you've seen LT in your town,
hide your kids.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Hide the kids. Hide the wife.
Oh my God.
Well, I mean, hide the kids anyway. He's a fucking crazy person.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
Don't smoke crack.
Yeah. Or snort coke.
Right. Remember the water boy? Which brings me to my next point, kids. Don't smoke crack.
I wonder where Michael Irving is right now. Speaking of doing coke.
So anyway, talking about animations, I know you sent me a screenshot pretty early on, or no, you posted in the cantina the halftime celebrations. With
that was on the
cheerleaders.
Discord server. I posted it.
Yeah. So they got really good about adding these digitized images and these like very kind of crude animations
Right.
throughout the game. But at the time, again in '91, these were actually really good, and these were not anything you had seen up to this point.
Yeah,
in a video game.
it was like, you know what it reminded me of? It's like the digital picture that you would could take at like Chuck E. Cheese or something, you know, where you have it basically a legit image that would kind of flash over of what might as well be like the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders, right? It's kind of like the same imagery, but like, all right, we know it's a dude playing this, so here's some sexy cheerleaders, you know, to placate you during this halftime show.
Yep.
And here they are.
Yep, and we were also given these little kind of cutscenes every time you would score a touchdown. It'd be, you know, the guy da 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 da, and the guy would spike the ball, and he'd like fucking yeah, and the quarterback would be like yeah, he'd be doing the Howard Dean.
Yeah, and then Joe Montana, seeing Joe Montana underneath every fucking time.
Yeah,
makes you want to fucking just I'm restarting. Fuck you. I'm gonna play against the goddamn Buccaneers.
Yep. Or even when like during the kicks, like especially if you were kicking a long field goal, it would show like this first person perspective view from the kicker as you'd see the ball like go up and like start going towards the goalposts. Just kind of.
I had very little success kicking field goals.
Well, and it's funny too because there's not much to it. It's when you go to kick a field goal, there's this little arrow.
Right.
It's just going up and down, and you just got to try to stop it as close to the center.
But
as
you
possible.
have to do it quickly though, because otherwise you get blocked.
Yes.
Which is what kept happening to me. I'm like waiting for the arrow to get just in the right spot, and next thing I know, boom, fucking blocked. Like, God damn it! Actually, you know what pissed me off the most? Are we moving into gameplay? We're talking about gameplay.
Yeah.
The fucking kickoff. Right. The fact that you had so much. Like, I don't know, you had to like hit the fucking kickoff bar is moving like this fucking fast.
Yeah, it's a meter that's going up and then resetting and going up, and you want to hit it like
it's
depending
like
on what you're trying to do.
Pink, 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 right, going across. But yet, it's a fucking kickoff. You can't fucking like get out. You can't call a fucking fair catch. Right?
Nope.
These rules that we're kind of used to now with like, you know, calling a fair catch and, you know, getting on a 25-yard line, all that shit. No. My first fucking reception, right? I'm in the end zone. I'm just standing there waiting. I'm like, oh, fucking touchback, right? Nope. Fucking get hit in the fucking end zone. Safety. I'm like, fuck. It's exactly how I want to start.
Right.
And then immediately kick to fucking Joe Montana to Jerry Rice. Touchdown. Yeah. Fucking Joe Montana. Like, all right, this is not. I'm not enjoying myself right now.
Right.
But I just pissed me off. They're like, okay, the kickoff should be. I get it. You want to have a little bit of like challenge to it, but at the same time, like, just let me kick the fucking ball more than 10 yards.
So funny thing about that, I've gotten to the point in these games, and I was like this even back in like '91, to where I would always kick onside kicks. Like every kickoff, I would kick an onside kick and just hope for the best. Because, you know, a quarter of the time you'd recover. And like the defense is so, like we said before, it's so kind of random and so benign in this. Like you have no real control over it.
Right.
It's like, to me, it really doesn't make a difference starting on the 50 versus the 20, like them having the ball.
Right.
So I kick an onside kick every single time. And again, quarter of the time it works, and I can just get the ball back and go score again.
Fair enough.
I actually get to the point where I do this in Madden a lot too.
No shit.
Where like in Madden games, I'll kick onside kick every single time.
Wow. See, and again, this is all right. So this is part of my problem with these games, right? And I run into this with Madden as well. There is a level of realism that I'm not willing to sacrifice, knowing that this is a video game. Like with play calling and shit like that. Like, am I really going to go for it on fourth down here? Like, you know, it's just a video game. Like, who gives a shit, right?
Right.
But I find myself, like, this is situationally, like, I would never kick an onside kick every play. That's fucking stupid.
No.
Like, I wouldn't do that. Like, my brain, like, no, you can't do that. I certainly not in Madden.
Right.
Every time there's like, all right, this is what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to do this. And that would affect me. If I was playing against you and you kept doing that, I would fucking lose my mind.
Fucking throat chop me as we're sitting there, just
like God damn it!
Yeah.
Stop doing that. Yeah, yeah, that would bother me a lot.
Mm-hmm. Did you back in the day or in these most recent playthroughs, would you ever use like the zigzag technique to kind of break defenders and just run for like fucking 80 yards?
I tried.
Yeah.
Yeah, the zigzag and hitting the button to try and like get away from or get off of tackle.
Yeah.
Whatever. I wasn't super successful. I don't know if the 360 controller I had was like very. I think because it had the option to kind of go diagonally, whereas the D-pad on a NES controller would not have that option.
Mm-hmm.
I might have been sliding off of it a little bit.
Mm.
So I don't know, or it could just been just wasn't playing it well,
Right.
which is probably more likely the answer. Yeah, running just wasn't a thing. Cycling through and throwing the ball, perfectly fine.
Mm-hmm.
Handing it off to run and thinking I was passing, I just standing there. But you hand it off to run, I'm like, this is supposed to be a pass. The dude would stand there like this, right? He'd be in the passing position. No, he's not passing. Why? Because he's a running back. He's supposed to be running. No, and then I get fucking sacked, and it's all over. It reminds me of fucking. Did you sidebar? Kind of. Do you ever play electric football? Electric table football?
Oh, the old. Yeah, I used to have one of those growing up.
I've probably had like 3 or 4 of them in my lifetime. Never had it like proper, right? Set it up like one time, and then like after you play it once, and shit gets lost and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I felt like when I was playing this. I felt like I was playing on the electric football.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not selecting the players right. People are just moving on their own. I'm just like, okay, fine. Whatever.
Yeah.
Do my best. I'm playing it for the fucking show. That's what I'm doing right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I feel you. So, we already talked about the animations.
Right.
Talked about the stat tracking. It also tracked like offense and defense, like how many yards and points your defense would allow, how many yards your offense would put up. It ranked the teams. Again, good shit ahead of its time. So for gripes, you've complained about a couple of things. There were a couple of things that I didn't like that I'd love to get into. Back in the day, because the whole concept of playing through a whole season was still new, I really looked past this and just kind of looked at it as a function of the game itself. But now, after playing lots of Madden and lots of other modern sports games, the way you have to skip games in a season is really, really fucking tedious and annoying. So let's say you pick a team and you're going through a season. You're at week 1, right? Mm-hmm. Your game is like the 8th one that gets played.
Mm-hmm.
All of those games before you still have to get skipped or simulated.
Right.
Now, if you don't go in there and know to manually tell it to skip to my game, it is going to go through this long fucking like 45-second thing for each game before you, where it like shows both team logos and it shows like the fucking scores, and then it shows the fucking stats afterwards, and then it goes to the next thing, as opposed to when you tell it to skip, it'll just quickly show you the scores of each game. But either way, it still has to simulate the games before you, and it's playing this now and going through a season now, it's very, very tedious, and I'm like, why did it have to be like this?
Oh, probably because of it has to build. Like, it has to make the computation, right? It can't just, like...
Well, and I understand that, but I don't understand why it has to be so clunky and why I have to...
Well, it's 1991 on a cartridge.
Yeah. Probably was like, what were the cartridges, like 15 megabytes or something like that?
Yeah. I mean, there's hardly anything going on in there.
Yeah.
And you're playing this, what, on an NES?
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like there's a huge amount of processing power going on here. So all of the computing that's being done, it needs to go through its whole process. Like, okay, it'll speed through a game, but then it'll have those stat lines because it simulated a game as fast as it could possibly do it. So
yeah,
you had that many fucking that clock speed, whatever it is, that's how fast it could simulate a game.
Yeah.
And then it moved on. Whereas I think with the more modern games, I'd be willing to bet that like modern EA games, it probably has a some canned logarithm that says, okay, this is what we're going to do in a particular season. This is what the scores are going to look like. Like, or go reach back into this randomizer and pull this fucking out of here.
Right.
As opposed to actually playing the game.
Mm-hmm. And the outcomes are really random because I can remember playing through these seasons over and over again, and sometimes random teams would just make the fucking playoffs. Teams that had no business being there, but they would their numbers would just randomly sometimes work out in their favor, like the fucking New England Patriots, for example. Your boy Tom Brady. They had a shit team back in this time.
Oh, yeah.
But every once in a long fucking while, somehow the Patriots would eke into the fucking playoffs. They'd never win, but, you know, that was part of the randomness when these games would get simulated. So I understand that. I just don't like the way it was presented and the way that you have to tell it to go fast, like to skip through the games faster than the normal presentation. Why the faster one couldn't be the default, I don't know. I just feel like it was very clunky, but again, I'll give it to the programmers, 1991, and blah, 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 blah. But that was one of my bigger gripes.
The New England Patriots, since you brought it up,
Mm-hmm.
and because I took pictures of it, I don't know a single name.
Oh, they were literally like the worst team in the NFL at this time.
Quarterback, Steve Grogan. Okay. Backup quarterback was Mark Wilson. Running back, Marvin Allen. The fullback, John Stevens, George Adams.
God, could they have just like the most generic fucking sounding people?
Mosey Tatapu. Oh, they had Irving Fryer.
Okay.
He was an Eagle.
That's a name.
Yeah. If it was early in his career or late in his career.
Had to be
remember.
early.
Yeah, it must have been. Irving Fryer was. Yeah. Other wide receivers, Hart Lee Dykes. Sounds like a fucking name you'd call into a bar. Greg McMurdy, Sammy Martin, Marv Cook.
Boy,
Like,
these are some
just who the fuck?
Yeah. And their record reflected it. These were like those like 2-14, 1-15 record New England Patriots at the time. This was right before Drew Bledsoe came along, and you know, things changed a little bit for him.
It was the 90s, man.
Yeah, early 90s. So another gripe that I had with this game is the fact that you don't notice it when you're just playing by yourself. The fact that you're always going left to right.
Mm-hmm.
There's never any side changes like for quarters or anything like that. You're always going left to right, which is normally fine until you start playing multiplayer. Because if you've been playing this game for hours and hours and hours and you're used to like playing in a certain direction, if you end up being the second player in the multiplayer for this, you're now going right to left when you've never been playing going in that direction up to this point. And this was like a real problem with me and my friends when we'd play multiplayer together. It'd be like, no, I don't want to be the second fucking player. I don't want to play right to left. So it started arguments because they didn't do it proper to where you would switch directions based on your quarter. So, and again, it's never relevant until you're playing with somebody else, and one of you motherfuckers has to actually go in the opposite direction that you've been used to playing in. And I know it probably sounds silly. It's like, just go in a different direction. What's the big fucking deal? It is a huge deal when you've only been doing it this one way, and now you have to like flip it into a fucking mirror.
You know, it's funny, that Retro Bowl game that I've been playing, it has a setting where it'll only play going the one direction.
Right.
So I went in there and switched it so that it would go either way.
Yeah.
Just because it was starting to annoy me just going one direction.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, all right, I want to have an added like element to the game. Like it was just getting a little stale. So it was an additional challenge to have to go the other direction. So now it like forces me to like, you know, throw differently or whatever.
Yeah.
It's not that difficult of a game, but it just added that little extra element because I paid the $1.99 to have the full effect, right? So I can have weather and all this other shit.
Mm-hmm.
The wind's always blowing the same direction because you're always going the same direction. So
Right.
yeah, it's funny though. It would always go to the left if you leave it as a default.
Mm-hmm. So, and you know what? They probably did that on purpose to reflect, because again, that Retro Bowl, this mobile game that you've been playing, is very heavily influenced by Tecmo Bowl.
Yeah,
I don't
absolutely.
think it's made by the same company, but it's like an homage to
Yeah.
the Tecmo Bowl type
Yeah.
games. The other big gripe that I had was the QB cadence. I don't know if you've ever
Is that?
yes, and first of all he'll keep going until you snap the fucking ball.
Yep.
He'll just be like hut 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 hut, and I would have friends who would like do that to get fucking annoying. They wouldn't snap the ball, and they just let him go hut 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 hut. It's like fucking snap the ball.
Yeah, there's no fucking there's no clock
Yeah.
to keep it. I don't think there is. Is there? I don't think there is.
Like a game clock. No.
No, I don't think there's a.
Yeah, there's no
Yeah,
game clock, so
no.
yeah, they can just sit there forever, and they would.
Yep.
It
Yeah,
was
that would
pretty
be
funny.
fucking. Yeah, that's a good way to get throat chopped.
And honestly, the Super Nintendo version that came out the next year, though it had a shitload of improvements, I think the quarterback cadences were actually worse, and they were more annoying to listen to. But it was the exact same thing as with the original Tecmo Bowl. So
Honestly, like listening to watching the Cowboys and the Giants play yesterday, listening to the words Omaha and shit like that, like I'd almost rather listen to the Tecmo Super Bowl.
yeah, no, that's a good point. So anything else on the actual game itself, the gameplay, the rosters, the fact that it tracked season stats, any of that, because all of that is pretty damn relevant.
I would agree. Relevant and pretty groundbreaking if you think about it. Like,
Yeah, this is really the godfather of the current like Madden style
yeah,
simulation football games.
and what really it just made me think tangentially.
Tangentially.
Yeah, that's not the right way to say that word, but anyway. Like fantasy football, like when fantasy football was like kind of starting to pick up and you start really tracking people's stats and shit like that.
Yep.
If it starts getting along those same lines, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but I think people really started playing fantasy football in the 70s, if I'm not mistaken.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
That's funny because I'd never heard about fantasy football until like the early 2000s.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it had been around in some form for a while. I'm gonna go ahead and look that up. 1962.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I didn't hear about it until fairly recently. But yeah, it's kind of along those same lines, and I think the legacy that this game leaves is the shitload of games that followed over the course of the 90s and into the current generations, where after Tecmo Super Bowl blew up, everybody wanted a piece of that fucking NFL pie. So there were a shitload of games that came out that tried to do the same thing. Some tried to be a little bit more on the realism side. I don't know if you remember NES Play Action Football.
Yeah.
That was one that I played around the same time. A lot slower paced, a lot closer to a Madden simulation style, still very crude by today's standards. But, you know, that started using like the NFL license and the seasonal stats and everything else. But like so many fucking franchises were started after this. And this was the first game to have both the NFL Players Association and the National Football League license. So it was the first football game to have both all of the official teams and all of the official players. And again, that kind of got the ball rolling on all of these fucking subsequent genres until EA rolled in and fucking scooped up the exclusive video game rights to football games.
But even still, like, so I think that with a game like this, right, and how widespread this was, look at what it did. It brought these nerds, right, like us. We were gamers. We were people that were indoors. Like, you played football. I played a little bit of football and played other sports at that age group, right? You're talking about early high school. whatever, you're getting somebody involved in sports that wouldn't necessarily otherwise be involved in it.
Yep.
And I'm not saying it's going to buy them into a franchise, but it might get them otherwise interested in something that they weren't before.
Sure.
So okay, now you're branching off into this and giving people access that they didn't have before. And for the player, they weren't making the kind of money back then that they are now.
Oh yeah.
Without the like the Madden enterprise as it turns into, which, by the way, if you haven't heard about it or you haven't watched a minute of football in fucking the past month and a half, there's a big special on Madden that they're broadcasting on Christmas Day.
The video game Madden?
No,
or John Madden, the person.
the person. It looks like it's going to be really good.
Yeah.
And it's going to talk about him. Like it's going to be a documentary basically about John Madden, but it's airing on Christmas Day. It looks like it's going to be really good, but it's going to get into the video games and everything else. But that franchise and getting these player names out there, it's almost like if you're following this curve up to like how much money is being made, how much money the players are making, how big the NFL is getting. Because even when I was growing up, like the Eagles were huge. The Eagles have always been a big thing in the city of Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm.
But you were still not selling out games. You still had to deal with media blackouts. You still had to it was big, but it wasn't big enough. It wasn't big enough to where it was must-see TV.
Right.
So and that's unheard of now. Like the NFL product is everywhere. We're sitting here right now. There's NFL game on right now.
Yeah.
And because of COVID, we're gonna have NFL games all week, except for Wednesday, I think.
Yeah.
But
just fucking that's a whole
big
ordeal.
It's a fucking mess. But so it's funny to think about. Like for me, I look at this as something like Tecmo Super Bowl, where you have here's the franchises, right? This is obvious. Like this is the Philadelphia Eagles. Here's your little helmet.
Yep.
Your little 8-bit helmet, but this represents the thing that you're working towards. Like, oh man, this is my city. This is the game I want to play. I'm gonna play as my team now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get this opportunity
and those actual players.
Yeah.
And
then get out there and do that. And hey, I'm going to learn some more of the roster. And I'm going to really get into this. And oh, wow, there's a thing called fantasy football. Now I'm going to start learning how to gamble on this and
right.
Would you know what the stat line, how to read the stat lines if it wasn't for Super Tecmo Bowl or Tecmo Super Bowl?
Probably not.
Would you follow the stat lines as closely? Like, would you understand it as well if you didn't have some exposure like this?
Well, even more than that, I think this game probably helped my overall NFL fandom because, like I said, I had just started watching football at this time when this game came out. And I think this only helped to amplify my interest in professional football as a whole. Whereas if it wasn't for these video games, maybe I wouldn't have been as into the NFL and tracking the stats and everything else.
Yeah, especially for like you. Now, granted, you're in Bakersfield, you're close to at least San Fran. So
yeah, there were a handful of NFL franchises around where I was. And there's a particular reason why I honed in on the 49ers, and it was not just because they were winning a lot.
But if for me, like growing, it's well documented, my Philadelphia connections and being born across the street from the Veterans Stadium. But, I was born into it, like this, into the city, into the sports franchises and everything else. So for me, it was never not a thing.
Mm-hmm.
So the video game part of it wasn't really. I'll be honest with you. Like when I played this, I always play as the Eagles, and when I had the hockey game, I always played as the Flyers or whatever. I mean, just that I'll always do that. I'll always do the hometown thing, even though it's not necessarily the best team. But for NCAA, when NCAA came out, that's where I really cared more about. Like, I'm gonna be this. I'm playing as Penn State, playing against like fucking Chuck Brinzer and these other clowns that are playing as Ohio State or Michigan or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to beat these fuckers and as the college team. So there wasn't any names or anything else, but making that affiliation with that team. It's like, oh my god, I just fucking want to take this flag and I want to fucking run around with it and play the alma mater and all the other stuff. Which leads me to the now that we have the NIL, now we have an opportunity to have NCAA football back. And me personally, excuse me, I think that NCAA, if they put it out in 2023, is going to be bigger than Madden.
I can see that because they haven't had a proper NCAA game in how long?
It's been over a decade.
Yeah.
Has to have been.
Where they used to, even after EA locked up the Madden license, they would still release both games, like Madden and the NCAA game, within a couple of months of each other, and it'd be basically the same game engine.
Yeah.
Right? Just obviously different teams and everything.
Right.
And it's funny you bring that up because one of the last things I wanted to talk about was kind of the legacy of Tecmo Super Bowl and this cult following that it has, to the point where modders will take these emulator files and they will make modifications to Tecmo Super Bowl and update the rosters and update the teams every year. So you can go online right now and you can get an emulator version of Tecmo Super Bowl that's this fucking game that we've been playing and talking about, except it's got all of the modern rosters. It's got like fucking Patrick Mahomes as the QB of the Chiefs, and it's got adjusted stats for him because these hackers can go in and they can adjust the fucking file and modify it however they want.
That's beautiful.
And yeah, there's just an obsessive modding community for Tecmo Super Bowl to the point where every year they release new roster updates, team updates if any teams change, and it just goes to show the popularity and the longevity of this fucking game and how big of an impact it had. Because nobody's going back to like fucking NFL for the Game Boy and modding that, or any of these other like NES Play Action Football or any of those. Nobody's going back to mod those to have modern rosters. But Tecmo Super Bowl, still after 30 fucking years, it still has this cult following to it.
No, and you know what? That's the I hate to say it, but in this advancing of age, right, as you get ready to go into your birthday tomorrow, and you know, as we keep marching towards what is probably the apogee of our lives, the idea that we have this these things in our lives that are I lost my fucking train of thought. Did you see it?
Well,
did you watch it happen? Did you see it? Fucking, there was a thing. It was blooming, and then just like.
Well, talking about the legacy of the game and the modders, and
yeah,
after 30 years, it still has this following.
Well, I think what I was trying to go with that was there's some people out there that would say, they say certain things like, oh well, you know, they're going based on a name, not necessarily how good the game is. Where
right, like nostalgia, like
right,
it's more about nostalgia, not actually how good it was, kind of a deal.
And with something like this, it's like, well, this isn't the best game, but it's not only is it one of the better games, but it also has the nostalgia.
Yeah, and it's fun, and it's still fun to play. Yeah, and it's fun to play today. Obviously not very realistic when you can run 30 times with Bo Jackson and rack up almost 600 yards rushing in a game.
Then you can play an entire season in fucking 3 hours.
Yeah, but it's still really fun. And I think that's the difference. It's especially if you're familiar with football, you can play through a game of this and you can enjoy it. And
oh man.
What?
I opened up, I went on, like, so NCAA football, the last one came out in 2014.
Okay. So it's been 7 years?
7 years.
Almost 8 years since the last one?
And I think the last one I actually own is the one that Tim Tebow was on.
Oh, jeez.
And that was in 11. But I'm looking at this thing, and it has, for like 09, it has the PSP. Has Owen Schmidt on the cover of the PSP version. I'm like, oh man, the PSP. We have to, at some point, we have to talk about the PSP. And I wish I still had mine.
Yeah, I still have mine. It's in one of the drawers behind you, but
it was
such a unique system.
It was ahead of its time.
It was, but it also, I think, made a lot of mistakes also.
Oh, of course it did.
So yeah, we'll add that. Lunar Girl, add that to the list.
Yeah, I just saw PSP on there. I'm like, PSP.
Yeah, but
I'm looking at the people that were on the covers of this thing. Let's see these names you recognize. Football person, right? Charles Woodson.
oh, I've heard of him
Yeah. What team did he play for?
in college.
Yeah.
Oh God, I couldn't tell you. Michigan?
Fucking Michigan, man.
Okay.
Jesus Christ. He's a Michigan fan, folks. Oh, God. That was in 99. You know who 2000 was? You don't, but humor me. Ricky Williams.
Now him I know.
Yeah, Ricky Williams.
Pot smoking,
Yep.
early retirement, losing my signing bonus. Ricky Williams.
Yeah, that was the year that the Eagles picked Donovan McNabb in the draft over Ricky Williams, and everybody fucking booed.
Oh right.
Yep. I think that worked out well for us.
Yeah.
I'm
I
not-
mean, not to say that Ricky wasn't a fantastic fucking player when he wasn't smoking the reefer and
But I got high because I got high because I got high. Yeah, in 04 it was Carson Palmer. 05 was Larry Fitzgerald. 06 was Desmond Howard. What team he played for?
college,
Yes.
Michigan.
Yes. Very good. Reggie Bush. Deshaun Jackson was on the PS2 cover. Matt Ryan was on the PS3 cover in 09. God, PS3 is that old?
Yeah.
Jesus. There's
I
Mark.
mean, we're on the 5 now, so
Fucking hell. Anyway, I can't wait, dude. I can't wait. We talk about like these Tecmo Super Bowl, the success of this, kind of making it into having the success now.
mm-hmm.
Like I haven't been this excited for a video game since the Star Wars video games came out, like the Battlefront game
Mm-hmm.
when that came out. That excitement for that.
Yeah.
I'm more excited for this.
Nice.
It's just going to be great. But
Hopefully it lives up to your expectations.
I mean, it's going to be the Madden game engine, right? So, and it'll be interesting to see how many players will actually benefit from it. You know, how many players are going to have some sort of deal where they're going to be able to have their name in the game.
Yeah.
With the NIL. So,
Yeah, and this will be the first time, right? Like,
yeah.
so, because I remember playing some NCAA games back in the day, and it was either like generic names or they'd get like one person that they could sign. And
I think
one name.
It probably was if they had already signed or something by the time the game was released or whatever. Like, think about the covers, right?
Yeah.
Like, they probably, I think that Tebow was on the cover, but he had already been on there
Drafted.
for the Heisman or something. So I'm sure there was some criteria where they were getting compensated for it.
Yeah, and this is good. Hopefully, hopefully some of these kids can earn some sort of income from this and not have to.
Millions. So I know there's I know there's a lot of non-sports people that were tuning in then tuning out, but it was a big deal this past week where on signing day, National Signing Day for like recruits, kids coming out of high school going to college, this is when the NIL is actually coming big into play because these kids are getting millions of dollars, and some of the caveats with that are like, okay, you're going to go with these certain teams and you're going to have this many snaps. This one top recruit had verbally committed to FSU, Florida State, and he was on television and ended up decommitting to FSU and committing to this fucking I think it's a D1A school that Deion Sanders coaches. It's like Jackson State or something. So he's going to that school as their fucking he's like a 5-star quarterback recruit or some shit like that.
Right.
and it's actually good video because he's like, yeah, Georgia hat now, but this is going to be the way of it. Like, okay, you're really good at this. Here's where you're going to have this much money, right? Go out there. You're going to get on a college team, and hopefully don't fucking blow something out. And if you do, well, at least you have this.
Yeah.
Right. At least you have.
Whereas
this.
before they'd have nothing.
They'd have nothing.
Yeah.
You'd have. Hopefully, you'd be able to finish college, but a lot of times you don't.
Mm-hmm.
I personally know people that were on scholarship, at Penn State, that got hurt, got injured, weren't able to finish school, ends up, joining the military.
Yeah.
It's tough. But now, if you're really good, you can get out there and fucking market yourself. Get with a marketing team or something like that. Sports management, kids, with the NIL, you want to start making money. Go to fucking school for sports management. Start fucking managing money for these kids.
Yeah, be the next Jerry Maguire for college kids. Show me the money.
I have to pee.
All right. So let's take a quick break then, and then we'll come back and wrap this thing up. But Dave's still got to do his Red 5 read and everything. So
yes.
We are going to take a very quick break and be right back after this word from our sponsors. And Scott, enough in the fucking chat already. I can see you kissing these bitches' asses. Stop it. One of them's already out. Hopefully Dave finishes off the other one next week. Just enough. Enough with the ass kissing. All right. Both of these broads need to get out of my fantasy league so I can win my championship proper. But just enough. Enough with all of that. Anyway, what else did I miss in the chat? Urban Meyer was fired. He never should have been hired in the first place. Like, I don't know what the fuck they were thinking. Joker was in for a while. Okay, I think it was Joker who was talking about the Han Solo thing. Just cool your jets a little bit because, nothing has been officially announced from Lucasfilm. So, much like all of the other bullshit that we've heard over the years, like, oh, there's going to be a Yoda movie and there's going to be a fucking Darth Vader show and all of this stuff. Just chill. Chill, because until it comes out of the horse's mouth, it's fucking cold. Yeah, it is. I think winter finally decided to show up. But honestly, like, I'm not putting any stock into that. Plus, Harrison Ford is like fucking 80. Like, he's minutes from death. So,
is that an S?
Just, it's a gift for somebody who may or may not be watching the show.
Fair enough.
But yeah, cool your jets with the Han Solo talk, because I don't put a whole lot of stock in that.
Honestly, Nick had brought it up. I don't really. It's an interesting talking point, but it's not.
I don't know. I don't know how.
It's not. Is it a big deal?
And even if, let's say it even was true. Okay. In what capacity is he going to come back? Because again, Harrison Ford is older than dirt, first of all. Like, he's already been killed off in The Force Awakens. So what are you going to do? You going to, like, bring him into the fucking Mandalorian or something? Like, de-age him a little bit like Mark Hamill?
Well, I think that's what I've seen, or what Nick was kind of putting out there, was maybe the de-aging bit.
Yeah.
But, I mean, he might even be too old for that. Like, Mark Hamill's a lot younger than Harrison Ford. Yeah. I don't know how much younger, but
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really. It doesn't, to me. Like, even if it was confirmed, even if Disney had come out and said, "Hey, Han Solo is going to be a part of, I don't know, The Mandalorian or something,"
mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go like, okay, why?
Yeah.
I'm not going to be like, wow, that's awesome. Like the Force Awakens reveal with Han Solo was fucking brilliant, right? And maybe it was the timing of it. Maybe it was because the fucking getting Star Wars back after such a long like break from it or whatever, and then having him there and that whole thing. But I don't know.
Yeah. So
are you gonna pee or
no? Let's just get back to it and finish this up, and then we'll call it a night.
all right?
So give me a countdown.
Ready, go.
And we're back. So, what you got there? Dave was assaulting one of the Tom Brady pops.
Like Tom
the
Brady
studio.
assaulted one of the freaking Surface Pros.
I was like chucking the iPads after
throwing a fucking hissy fit. Like, yeah, didn't play good football tonight. I'm gonna freaking be mean to the Surface Pro. Yeah. Then he broke it. He's like, I didn't break it enough, so I'm gonna throw it back here.
Yeah, had to make a spectacle of it.
Yeah, he did.
So
what a whiny little bitch. Just when you think the guy's like, oh, maybe the guy's not that bad, then he throws a little fucking fit on the sideline. Yeah, fuck him. Fuck that guy. This guy right here. Fuck that guy.
wow.
Fuck him. Fuck him right in the ear.
So
I'm Tom Brady. I'm a little bitch.
you're missing all of this if you're only listening to the audio.
Oh yeah, look at me.
Dave's
look at my booty
doing
hole.
things doing things with the Tom Brady pop. All right, let's wrap this up. Any last words on Tecmo Super Bowl?
No. Get an emulator and play it. Enjoy it.
Yeah, a lot of fun.
Realize how much fun it is from back in the day.
Yep, still
and
holds
if
up.
you suck at it, then don't play it anymore.
Yeah, there you go.
Like me.
Easy as that. All right. Any more Red 5 discussion points?
I've got all kinds of things to talk about.
Then let's talk about it.
So I'm going to come over here to my handy dandy iPad, and I'm going to read the Red 5 news.
Red 5 news.
In Red 5 news, Lunar Girl would like to thank both Press Play Streaming Studios, who was in the chat earlier. Thank you very much, Alan. Right? Isn't that Alan?
Yeah.
And Galaxy of Queers podcast for having her on as a guest this past week. Lunar Girl representing us magnificently as always. Lunar Girl has been sharing daily Red 5 live stream schedules on the socials. There are 33 amazing podcasts, including ours and Red 5 Network, and literally something for every personality. For the complete list, visit bio.link/Red5. That's bio.link/ the number. No, not that. It's bio.link/Red, the number 5.
Okay.
bio.link/Red5.
Yes.
Coming up later tonight, WSTR Media will be celebrating 20 years of the Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring.
I can't believe that's 20 years old already.
Fuck, we just did a game that's 30.
I know. Where the fuck did our lives go? Jesus.
Lord of the Rings. So overrated.
How dare you?
Hop in their chat at 2200 Eastern and tell them the sidebar sent you.
You shall not pass.
We should do a Lord of the Rings. Just because I want to explain to you why I like. So we know how I am with the Marvel thing, right? And we probably have an idea why I'm that way because of my lack of interest in comic books or exposure to comic books or whatever. And quite frankly, superheroes can eat a dick. I'm just not interested.
Okay.
Lord of the Rings, it has a lot more to do with the storytelling. And if we break down the Lord of the Rings, we can look at each thing because I've watched all of them. It's not hey, it's a Marvel thing, go fuck yourself, I'm not watching it.
Mm-hmm.
I've watched all of it. And
you must have loved Randall's rant in Clerks 2 then.
Oh yeah.
Where he's like, a movie, 3 fucking movies about a guy walking to a fucking volcano.
Yeah, exactly.
Here's the first movie.
Yeah, how it should have ended, I think, done it perfectly. Anyway, so WSTR Media is talking about it tonight, so tune in for them at 10 Eastern.
Apparently Bronco Fett's right there with you. He doesn't like Lord of the Rings either.
Well, you know, right here with you. For the rest of our Cantina family, Used and Abused Pod will be on a holiday break this week. I know I saw something Scott had posted in here. He had apologized. He had to cancel our shows for tomorrow. But
Scott's dead to me, so.
Not to me, Scott. The Used and Abused podcast. They had to cancel our shows tomorrow because Kim wasn't feeling well. Please, everyone, send her some get better soon wishes. But you can catch our replays on YouTube on your favorite podcasting app. A Booth in the Back returns Wednesday to recap quarterfinals of our fantasy football league. Hopefully all the football games will be done by Wednesday.
Yeah, no shit.
Will Mr. Roskam be going head-to-head with our returning champion? I see what you did there. Join Don Della Snooch and Luna Girl in the booth at 1800 exclusively on our Sidebar Cantina Facebook page.
When I win the league this year, I'm going to spike it so hard in every one of your fucking faces. You think I'm arrogant and cocky now? You just wait until I fucking wrap this shit up this year.
Uh-huh. Okay.
I'm just going to take my dick out and just put it right in the fucking camera.
Not in front of me or not.
Well, then you can leave the room first.
Join Don Della Snooch, Dragon Buddy, and special guest Keith Lehman on Wednesday as they share their top 10 holiday movies. The live chat is where it's at. Wednesday evening at 19:05 Eastern Standard Time at ATSW The Escape Pod on YouTube. You can also listen later in the week on your favorite streaming app. Sweet Studios has been on holiday break this week. Stay tuned for Slave. Every time. I can't.
How did he get the job of doing the Red 5 read every week? That's what I want to know.
Because it's funny, I guess. Stay tuned to Slaves for Scores on Instagram and YouTube, as well as Sweet Studios for more details. The Orange and Fett Show recorded episode 10, The Muppet Family and Christmas, on Saturday. Get caught up on some past episodes on Spotify. Again, Jason's all-time favorite Christmas movie, The Muppet Family Christmas.
Hell yeah.
Get in there and check that out with the boys. For us, you can find us on Twitter, or you can find Luna Girl, honestly, on Twitter.
The show as a whole on Twitter.
Sidebar Cantina.
Yes.
Just at Sidebar Cantina. On Twitch, we are the Sidebar Cantina, which we haven't done anything on Twitch lately.
No, we should. We should play some more Battlefront.
We should.
We do have some time off coming up.
Well, I mean, I'm going to be out of town.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah, we should probably inform the masses as to how that's going to go down. Finish your read, and then we'll do that.
Yeah, we'll do that. On Facebook, really not on Facebook much anymore. I don't know about Jason, but...
I keep getting fucking suspended, but so far, so good.
Yeah, we'll see about that.
Even after a comment I made today. After I typed it and I hit enter, I'm like, ooh, they might flag that.
Well,
whoops.
The day is young.
Yeah.
So, but we are active in our private Facebook group, the Sidebar Cantina. So look for that, answer some questions, and we'll get in there and see you there. On Instagram, which is where it's at, you can find us at the Sidebar Cantina. And on Discord, where there's no fucking censoring, look for the Discord server, the Sidebar Cantina.
Yeah.
Merch, go on our Linktree, like on our YouTube, like somewhere. I think it's down here.
In the description, yeah.
It's down there.
Yeah.
Is it somewhere right?
Well, not only just the YouTube, but also in the audio version of the show, there is a link to our Linktree, which will take you to our TeePublic.
TeePublic.
Yes.
I think it's there. I should bring up the YouTube thing so I
just
don't know what to do with my hands.
Oh my
god. It will take you directly to TeePublic, where you can find t-shirts and hoodies in a wide variety of designs, sizes, colors for the entire family. There are also Sidebar Cantina face masks, tote bags, phone cases, exclusive stickers, and pins. Just about everything you can imagine. Please tag us with your merch so Luna Girl can share it on the socials. Remember, search for us and either click the link or go to TeePublic and click the links.
Yeah.
Reviews, write a 5-star review on your favorite podcasting app. Screenshot it and DM us the pic on Instagram or Twitter. You can write one sentence or an entire page, whatever your heart desires. Lunar Girl will gladly send you some Sidebar Cantina stickers in the mail the next day.
Yep.
And we will read your review word for word.
And Dave will suck your dick.
On our next episode. As an added bonus, if you will post your Apple review on Twitter, Instagram, and tag us.
Why are you yelling?
Because it's capitalized. And tag us and at the Red 5 Network at Red
We
the
in
number
a
5
restaurant,
Network.
motherfucker. Why are you screaming?
You can also get an official Red 5 Network button pin. I can't control the volume of my voice. I really need to make this bigger is what it comes down to.
That's what she
My
said.
yeah, it's probably. My vision still is kind of wonky from the fucking concussion, if you can believe it.
Of course, because why not just throw that on top of everything else that's wrong with you?
Yeah, it's it's easy being me.
Is it?
No.
Because it sounds like the exact opposite.
Right?
It sounds very difficult to be you.
Well, many have tried. Anyway, that's all I got for the reads. Thank you again, Lunar Girl, for all of what you do for us on the socials. And my understanding is, I think pretty soon we're going to have an announcement, maybe. I think we have a new position at the...
Yes, the CFO.
Yeah, we have
of the Sidebar Cantina.
the chief fucking officer, right? Or,
Yeah.
or chief financial officer.
Yeah.
Head motherfucker in charge.
So more on that coming soon.
Yep.
But yeah, the staff is growing.
It is indeed. Because, I think... After talking about it for a while now, since we've merged podcasts and some other stuff, we may be talking about getting the band back together.
Indeed.
Or the Patreon
That too.
band. It's not really a band.
Could be. We could all four try to get together and do like harmonizing.
No, but we could that could be the thing. Like for the Patreon, we could sing. That could be like the additional thing.
Oh, one of the bonuses.
Yeah, good vibrations. We'll just like, different tiers. Like it could be different Beach Boys songs.
Does it have to only be Beach Boys songs?
Well, I mean, whatever irritates Bronco Fett the most.
Yeah, and Kristen for that matter.
Yeah, because then we could start actually getting financial compensation for snaps again.
Oh, there you go.
Because you've been giving free snaps for way too fucking long.
Yeah.
Quite frankly, I'm sick of it.
I know.
But anyway,
It is what it is.
I digress.
So, let's talk about our next couple episodes.
Yes.
Because certain things are coming up, and certain things have changed, and certain people are going out of town.
Yes.
So, our schedule for the next week and a half is going to be a little bit off.
Yeah.
So first...
Sorry, Lunar Girl.
Yeah, sorry, Kelly. But this is what we do. We make last-minute changes to fuck with you. Our next episode, we were supposed to talk about the Hubble and the James Webb Telescope, because James Webb was supposed to go up. Well, it should have been up like today, I think, was the initial date, and then it got pushed to the 22nd, and now it's been pushed to the 24th, Christmas Eve.
Right.
Dave is going out of town starting Christmas Eve-ish.
Yep.
So what we're thinking about doing is watching the launch live, because it launches Friday morning.
Hang on. This just in.
Oh, boy. Oh, no. All right, we're seeing this live. Somebody just mentioned in the chat that it's been delayed again.
So.
Yep, so we're looking this up right now.
Gotta keep those loving good vibrations happening with the God. I don't see anything.
Is he talking about the delay to Christmas Eve?
Maybe.
Okay, he might just be behind on the times. Anyway.
Or he's ahead and it just hasn't gotten to Google
hasn't hit
yet.
the newswire. Yeah, elaborate, Helmet Fire. Are you talking about the delay that we all know about to Christmas Eve, or is this an additional delay? Still 34. Yeah. I don't know what that means. 24.
24th.
All right.
Code 24th.
All right. So we're still good for the 24th. All right. back to our original plan. We're going to watch it Friday morning live. Thinking about firing up the YouTubes.
Right.
Having on one screen, having the fucking launch go.
Yes.
And then you got our two faces.
Yes.
And we'll watch it fucking launch. We'll kind of comment as it's going.
Right.
And then we'll roll right into like a 30, 45-minute discussion about James Webb, what we're going to hope to see over the next year and beyond.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll release that as the audio podcast because we will not be recording next Monday.
Right.
So Friday, live streaming the launch. Roll right into an episode after that. Then the following Wednesday, the 29th, this new show was coming up on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
That I think we're gonna watch.
Yeah.
And talk about.
You know, it's a little something about a character that may or may not be popular.
Bob A. Fett.
Whatever.
Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna talk about Book of Boba Fett Wednesday the 29th. So that will be the next episode that we stream from here inside the studio.
Yep.
And yeah, we'll do that on the 29th.
We'll do that. And, you know, just for for Lunar Girl sanity, like I just brought this up like today, right before we started the show.
It's all Dave's fault. It's always Dave's fault,
Yeah,
by the way.
it's my fault. See, Rick's got the right idea. No, we'd have to come up with words for some of the. I'm sure there's like words to somebody's wrote words for Star Wars themes. I'm sure it's got to be out there. It's got to be.
Sure.
I'm not saying they're good, but they got to be out there.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
we could sing songs from the holiday special. Goodbye, but not good night. Or wait, no. Good night, but not goodbye. The B. Arthur song?
no.
No?
No. The answer is no. Flat, just no.
All right, fair enough.
No.
I figured I'd throw something out there.
Yeah, you threw it, and I said no.
All right, he blocked that shit.
Yeah, not just no, but hell no. There's the Bill Murray Lounge version. Well, we will. We'll have
Star Wars, talking about Star Wars.
Yeah, we could totally do that.
Yeah.
Get you to play the piano. I'll wear a dress. I'll lean over it.
Wow, that escalated quickly. All right, are we ready to wrap this up?
Apparently.
Pretty good. All right, so yeah, that's the schedule. James Webb this Friday. Book of Boba Fett the following week, and it'll probably be a lot of Book of Boba Fett.
Oh, that's what she's talking about. Lunar Girl said you told me that was on Thursday because of spoilers.
Wait, what?
That we're going to do Book of Boba Fett on Thursday because of spoilers.
All right, we'll figure it out.
She's probably right.
All right, so then we'll do it on Thursday. We'll do it on the 30th. Give everybody a day to watch it, and then we'll talk about it.
Yeah, that's fine.
As long as Dave can make himself available on a Thursday night.
That would probably be easier, to be honest.
Okay, then we'll do it on Thursday. We'll do it on Thursday. See, look at that.
Look
We
at
fucking
that.
figured it out live.
Yep. We'll do what we want.
Yeah.
God damn it. Anyway. Because people work on Wednesday.
People work on Thursday, too. People work on Monday.
Yeah.
Doesn't stop anybody. It's all right, Kelly. You'll be out of the playoffs by then, so you'll have plenty of free time to do other things. So, we done?
Yep.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Sorry it was a little bit of a tangled mess at the end there, but yeah, it's
As per usual.
that's our thing. It's what we do.
Yep.
So catch us this Friday. And again, if you're not subscribed to us on YouTube at this point, I don't know why. I don't know why. But go to YouTube. YouTube.com/C/The Sidebar Cantina. Watch us as we
Watch this fucking shenanigans.
Yeah, as we're watching this fucking James Webb take off, and we're like fucking, "Nah!" We're praying to fucking God and just hoping that this thing goes off.
Fucking thing in French Guiana for some god awful reason.
That better be for some like logistical purpose, like to get it into a good orbit or something. Because if they just did that to fucking cut costs, fuck you.
No, it has everything to do with orbital mechanics. And,
Which I kind of figured.
Yeah.
But
yeah, there's reasons, and it makes sense. Like you don't spend 2 decades building something like this to fucking put it on, risk putting it on a goddamn ship, putting it through the Panama Canal to have the European Space Agency fuck it up.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Right.
Allegedly, this rocket has a super high reliability rate too.
Yeah. Good.
So we'll see.
Yeah, and you'll see our reactions live Friday morning. So be there, be square, and
ESA has the largest shell. That's what Home of Fire says.
I don't know what that means.
Probably shell to like hold like anyway. We'll talk about that later.
All right, fair enough. All right, we're gonna go for real this time. This is like
We'll save it for the after show.
going completely off the rails. Oh yeah, we got an after show. Was that a humpback whale? Jesus Christ. Okay. I don't know what's happening right now. I think Dave's losing it. All right. Well, thank you, everybody, for joining us in the YouTube chat. Stick around for the after show. Thank you, everybody, listening to the audio. Gina Carano did nothing wrong, and let's go, Brandon.
Fuck Tom Brady. Okay, now what do I click?
All right. Audio is stopped.
It's better than Good Vibrations.
Was that Tom?
No, that's your wife.
Oh.
God, he does a lot of good vibrations happening with her.
Was that Smeagol?
God, he does a lot of good vibrations happening with her.
Does that hurt your throat doing that?
Only if I do it for a while.
Jesus Christ. Hello.
What does that sound like on the YouTube?
It's better than Good Vibrations. Also
I was curious. I was at one point I want to I have a whole catalog of randomness that I really would need to put out on the air.
We're talking voices?
Voice noises, bullshit.
Yeah.
You know. It has to loosen up.
Mm-hmm.
Bobby from Bobby's World. Yeah, that's a good one.
Is that heater off?
No.
Okay, because I'm cold.
You're a little bitch.
Yeah.
I'm fucking sweating my ass off over here.
I'm too... Did you really just turn it off?
Vibrations happening with her.
Why does Dave get everything...
Do you want my-
Does a lot of good
What?
vibrations
Oh.
happening with
Do you
her.
want my flannel?
No, I don't want your flannel. Wouldn't fit me anyway.
What? I'm just over here doing my
Just
thing.
over there making random noises.
Yeah. Like I said, I need to have a catalog of the randomness at some point.
So, can we talk about how the 49ers have somehow, like, backed themselves into, like, a potential playoff spot?
It's because you lost hope. That's why.
I think so.
You gave up. You
Yeah.
stopped watching.
And then all of a sudden, they just accidentally won, like, fucking 5 out of their last 6. And now they're, like,
Yeah.
in the second fucking
didn't-
wild card spot.
Like they're winning and Garoppolo gets like what 10 points per fucking game.
Oh
some
yeah, no,
bullshit.
he's not putting up phenomenal numbers or anything, but they're still fucking winning. And it's like with a new fucking running back every week, it seems like.
Yeah, because what's his nuts has been out. Fucking Elliott or
Yeah, but this new guy that's in there, Jeff fucking
Hostetler.
you might as well be. But yeah, he racked in over 100 fucking yards rushing. I'm like, who's this guy?
Who the fuck are you?
Yeah. So, despite
What's
all
an
the
aluminum Falcon?
despite all the injuries, they've somehow managed to win a shitload of games. Garoppolo is obviously playing for his fucking life at this point because he knows his days are numbered. But yeah, they somehow are like about to make the playoffs.
It's fucking bonkers.
I know. Despite not being able to beat fucking Seattle. Like, everybody else beat Seattle but the 49ers. Everybody else. But the 49ers can't fucking beat them for whatever reason. God, I hate Seattle so much.
Well, like a good 49ers fan,
Yeah.
as you should.
Yep. So, that's all.
Luna Girl says hi from the chat.
To you.
Hi.
Trying to.
He's got.
like Alvin and the Chipmunks.
No, that's a different.
Oh.
Alvin's a different thing.
I'm thinking this
It's
is.
more like it's closer to the Bobby from Bobby's World.
Was it supposed to be Gizmo?
No, that's a different. The Mogwai is a different sound.
My mistake.
There are subtle differences. It's closer to Bobby from Bobby's World.
So I didn't know you owned a PSP at any point.
Yeah, yeah.
Huh?
I used to bring it on trips.
Really?
Yeah, that's all I had it for.
Yeah.
Like it would be in my flight bag,
No shit.
and I'd pull it out and play it on trips. Me and Brinzer had it, and we'd do that fucking those racing games against each other in the jet.
Yeah.
Like we'd go do the peer-to-peer thing.
Uh-huh.
Dude, I love that little fucking game. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
The graphics were really good. It was just battery intensive. Like it just
Yes. And the game media, those like weird like mini discs inside like the triangular case.
yeah.
Like I didn't like that. Like too many inner moving parts, and that's really what sucked up the battery was all those physical inside parts. And the real shame of it all is the follow up to that, the PS Vita, was better, like hardware wise, better in every fucking way over the PSP, but it wasn't nearly successful. Like not even a fraction of the success of the PSP, which makes no sense to me at all.
Yeah.
So
I didn't have the PS Vita. It didn't even get on my radar.
right, exactly, and apparently that was the case with a lot of people. But I have a Vita.
Was it the same games? Like
No. It was like a cartridge media, like upped graphics. Like it had like one of its bigger games was Borderlands 2, like full first-person shooter. Like it looked like a PS2 or 3 quality system.
I wonder why they don't try and venture back out into that.
I guess it's just a market thing. They didn't sell very well, which I think the PSPs were pretty successful, especially in Japan, but the Vitas just did not pick up any steam, and that's where it kind of died on the vine.
I remember PSPs, like a lot of people had them, but then a lot of people didn't have games.
Right. Yeah, and I was that way. Like I had a PSP. I still have it, but I only have like 2 or 3 physical games.
Yeah, I think I might have had like 5 games.
Yeah. Well, because again,
That
they're
was
these
it.
big fucking things. If this thing's trying to be so portable, having more than a couple of games,
Yeah.
it becomes like
You
a
need a giant
hindrance.
fanny pack to fucking carry it around.
Yeah. And can we bring back fanny packs? Like that's
They have been.
have they?
They've been working their way back.
Have they? Because
I've
fuck,
seen 'em.
man.
They don't call them that, but yeah.
They're probably called satchels or something.
Yeah.
Indiana Jones wears one.
I've seen people like walking around with like these bags. They're basically fanny packs, but they have them around their purses.
Yeah.
So
They're man purses. And
Right.
I'm like looking at these people like, the fuck is wrong with you?
yeah.
Like seriously.
So this is an interesting question to bring up right now. The two of you in the Northeast were fanny packs. Did you go through like a fanny pack phase in school, like in elementary school, where everybody had a fucking fanny pack and everybody was wearing one?
No.
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 Yeah, that was a big thing.
My mom had one.
No.
That was the extent of it.
Yeah,
They were big at Great Adventure when I worked there. Everybody had a fanny pack at Great
Yeah.
Adventure, but that was like the only time I ever saw them.
Nah, man, we went through a period of about 2 years in my elementary school where everybody had a fanny pack. They became very stylish. People like had to like personalize theirs, different colors and everything. But it was a thing, and we'd like carry all of our shit in them. Oh yeah, it was a thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Stylish.
I had a couple of different ones. I had like this big gray one, or I had like the smaller, like more satchel-y looking ones. But oh yeah, yeah.
Look at her moving away. Just slides away slightly with their stylish fucking fanny packs.
It
Hey,
was a
look,
thing.
different coast, different culture, I guess.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, fanny packs. Wow. No, my mom always had one. It was just not something.
All right. Fair
I always had a backpack. Like I've had backpacks since I was.
Oh yeah, we all had backpacks, but
I mean, like, it's like having a whoopee. Like I've always like had a backpack. That's basically my purse is a backpack. It's my Mary Poppins bag. There's just something. Everything is in there, and that's always been that way.
yeah. So
The fanny pack became an adult cool thing. Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm all right. I don't need a fanny pack.
Is that still a thing? Can I get a fanny pack that fits me now?
I'm willing to bet that you can get a fanny pack. You know what? I would. I'm going to look for a fanny pack for you.
It's a great time of the year for him to say something that he really wants.
It is.
It's perfect timing.
It is a perfect time. I may not be able to get it to him in time for the perfect time, but I'm going to look.
Yeah.
It's going to be stylish.
Oh, like Star Wars logos on it?
Stylish.
Oh, Gucci.
Stylish.
Okay. All right.
Versace. Oh, I'm totally getting him a fanny pack. Maybe I can get it to match your uniform and you can wear it in uniform. Like, is there fanny packs in the reg?
I doubt it.
Start adding. You have your fanny pack and your pronouns. Say words, son.
I mean, fuck it. Why not, right?
Jesus Christ.
I just have to say that it offends me that I'm not allowed to wear one, and then they'll bend over backwards.
There you go.
And
Yeah, see, exactly.
you just say you're offended. That's how it works.
I'm Tom Brady.
What's going on with Tom Brady?
I'm Tom Brady. I'm a little bitch. Oh, look at me. Look at me.
So
Oh,
sad.
I'm gonna snap it. Oh, look at my booty hole.
Day.
Oh, I'm so sad. Oh,
Wait, you mean the 44-year-old professional football player didn't have a good game?
He was sacked like 17 times.
Tampa.
He is old and frail.
I'm gonna yell at the referee.
Though, to be fair, he didn't look... Oh, like, he doesn't look old, per se, though. Maybe that's coming from somebody who's his same age. It's like, oh, he looks young. The way I would probably think about myself, oh, I still look young, right? Right?
I stopped
buddy?
thinking I looked young about fucking 10 years ago.
Yeah.
He's a little bitch. He is. He's a little bitch.
Wow.
He's a little, just when you think, yeah, I can like Tom Brady.
You did seem to be, like, warming up to him a little
I
bit
was
after
a
last year.
little bit until fucking last night, and nope, it's over.
Mm-hmm.
It's over.
Yeah, well.
I can respect him as a player, but he's a little whiny bitch. Rhinestone Cowboy.
Like a rhinestone cowboy.
Oh, yep. See, do you still? Didn't you say you still have your cowboy boots?
I think so. Do we still have those? My black cowboy boots?
I don't know.
You threw them out, didn't you?
I don't know.
I know that look, and she threw them out.
I doubt she would throw them out.
Ugly. I hated them so much.
Wow. No. Arm's length. Fucking the level of disrespect that I get on a daily basis.
When's the last time you actually would have saw them anyway?
Years ago,
Yeah.
when we moved.
They're with your pillow.
When you moved.
I had a pillow. It was my favorite pillow. It was a feather pillow. I used it every night. I go on a trip. I come back. It's fucking gone. It's like, oh, but I got you this other pillow instead. No, where's my pillow? Oh, I threw it out.
You used it every night? What'd you use it for?
That's none of your fucking business.
Okay,
the point is...
Okay, here's what happened with the pillow. It was like decades old. It was a feather pillow. And he's like, you can't wash feather pillows. It was a rainbow of colors. It was disgusting. When I met him, he didn't use a pillowcase. No pillowcase. Just drooled on that thing every night for years. And then he gets a root canal. No, not a
Wisdom
root canal.
teeth.
Wisdom teeth out. He dribbles blood all over this pillow. Won't wash it because it's a feather pillow. So yes, the second you turned your back, gone. Yeah.
I've never forgiven her for that.
Never apologize for throwing away that disgusting thing.
You're lucky you didn't get MRSA from it, for God's sakes.
Yeah. What can you do?
Feather fucking pillow? What is this, the fucking 17th century called? They want their pillow back.
I always had a feather pillow growing up, and I had one when I became independent, Jason, and then I met her, and then she's like, nope, can't have that.
That's right. He didn't own a pillowcase. He didn't own one.
She destroyed independent Jason.
Is that what it was?
That's what in that one move.
That destroyed your independence?
That was it. I was done after that.
Then that was a smart move, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, oh God, I can't. I had a blanket. It was basically the same thing.
Yeah.
It might as well have been like your fucking like a baby blanket. But
I had one too.
yeah,
Remember my Superman blanket that I had for years, and then that eventually shredded.
like
and
this
destroyed?
blanket it was almost like a hospital blanket, like one of the not Afghan but how to describe it?
Like the crib blankets, like the white
Kind
ones
of.
with like the turquoise stripes.
No, I know what you're talking about. Anyway, it was like, but super, super soft, and I would ball it up, and that would like turn into my pillow because it would stay really, really cool. Like, cause I'm a pillow turnover person. Like that'll happen all throughout the night as I just constantly turn over the pillow, and this blanket would be in that rotation, and Kathy couldn't fucking stand it.
Yeah.
So that was and the blanket was so fucking shredded from so many years of just being like washed, and then it would at least get washed.
Yeah.
You know, at some point it would actually make it into the washer and then get shredded a little bit more, and then some pieces would come off, and finally I went away at some point and came back, and it was gone for the best.
Yeah.
But it was so soft and so cool.
You and Kathy, you don't share blankets at night, do you?
Yeah, would try anyway.
Yeah, no, we stopped that shit long ago.
He refuses.
Well, the problem is, I vacillate between like the feeling cold, and then I'll be like overheated very, very quickly.
Yeah.
Like my system is very, very like the needle just goes back and forth all throughout the night. So if I do have a blanket on, it's like basically the end of it, and I'll just like kind of throw it off and on. But the dog takes up the whole fucking bed. Like that's what it is. It's Kathy and the dog, and I get like the edge of the bed, and I'm putting it on there like this.
I was like that before we got our new bed. We finally got a fucking king, but right, we have a king now. Yeah, before that, I think we had a queen.
Yeah.
And
That's what we have.
I felt like I had like nothing. Like I'm just laying on the very edge of the bed while Kristen and the dogs are taking up most of it.
I don't think with a bigger bed it'd be any better. I just they'd have more space, and I'd still be on the edge.
Well, it did get better in my situation, so I can't speak for you, but I know that going up to a king was like a lifestyle change.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and you have small dogs too. Like I have a 70-pound dog that she stretches out like this. Like you'll have all of a sudden there'll just be paw in your face like this. Like, God damn it! And I mean, you know, we could not have her sleep in our bed, but we like it. It's it's part of the routine. Welcome to the cool side of the pillow, Dave. Yes. It's a dynamite taste from the cool side of the pillow. Yeah. I gotta work on my Billy D. It's been a minute.
Yeah.
Malt liquor.
It's a dynamite taste.
I can't do it. Can't get there. I was too busy doing the Bobby's World.
Yeah, you got to limit yourself to one voice per show.
Well, it's tough, you know. It's like you can get it to like in here, or it's like moving a range thing up and down. Like if you can get it set up here and then trying to move it back down, it's hard for me anyway. These guys that do it professionally, it's fucking amazing. Yeah. Apparently they see you, Bronco Fett. Have a good holiday. There's good money in doing like voice work, doing audiobooks.
Oh, I bet there is.
I know my son was looking at it.
Really?
Yeah. He was looking at doing reading. I'm like, that'd be interesting. Like I could see like doing one book and doing multiple voices. That'd be interesting. But I'd have to work on.
Well, you know the benchmark.
Yeah.
Sir Mark Thompson. Like he's the gold standard.
Well, honestly,
so
like Mark Thompson's good, but Oh fuck! I can't think of his name. God damn it!
Billy D. Williams.
The guy who does the guy who does the Bobaverse books. Chad, if you're in the chat, help me out.
That's not Bray, is it? R.C. Bray?
I think it is R.C. Bray.
Who did Martian? Was it Martian? No, not Martian. Yeah, he did originally did the Martian.
Yeah.
Wheaton took over.
Yeah, I think so. I think it is R.C. Bray because it's R.C. Bray and there's
All the good sci-fi ones.
yeah, that he's. God damn it! Where am I typing? Some window just got R.C. Bray typed into it. I don't know where it is.
Texting my mom.
Colt 45.
Your reminder about the
Malt
pillow?
liquor.
I might bring it up.
She still brings it up. She still brings it up.
As she should. She's the one who got me onto feather pillows, and you stole that from me.
What?
She still brings it up.
Why don't you just buy another one?
I should. I make money now. I could do that.
Why? I mean, I don't know why you didn't do it before.
I don't
Oh, no.
remember.
Never occurred to him to get another one.
Oh, she's watching right now. She's like, I know, I'm watching. I'm like, what?
No, R.C. Bray is the Expeditionary Force series. He's got the more like new. He's more New Englander.
Okay.
He does the Maine accent. But yeah, he did do, I think the Martian. Damn it! What the hell's his name? Ray Porter. Thank you. God damn it. Ray Porter. Thank you. He's really, really good. So.
I've heard the Bobaverse are really good on audio.
They are fantastic.
I own them all because they were cheap, but I've never.
Yeah, they're fantastic. I just re-went through all of them recently just because I needed a break from nonfiction because I was starting to get it was depressing.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Depressing?
Well, there's only so much like astrophysics and everything else that you can like absorb in one shot. And then I did like 3 or 4 books in a row of just why does America hate atomic energy so much? Like I was doing this like super heavy research on why the fuck aren't we just going full nuclear?
That's the cleanest fucking electricity we can make.
Yeah.
Well, cleanest while also being reliable.
This country's. I don't even want to start.
Yeah.
Well, just say I have a lot of hours logged into listening to those books about it, and then also doing research on it. And the fact of the matter is, it's probably the only thing the French do right, because the French get like 95% of their power from nuclear.
Yeah, we should be doing that too. But you know what it is? It's the money. It's like all these groups have fucking money tied into our fucking government. Do you know how many of our congressmen have fucking Pfizer and Johnson & Johnson stock?
And oil ties too, petroleum ties.
Oh yeah, oil, fucking
totally.
Like obviously coal has a huge investment in a lot of our politicians, which is why we're still burning fucking coal for energy.
So not to dig this too far deep into this conversation, but what kills me is environmentalists who buy electric cars are like,
I bought an electric car.
You're not an environmentalist.
It's fair.
You bought an electric car because you wanted to save money on gas.
Right, because this was at a time when gas was high, like it is now.
Right. So, but there's a practical reason for that.
Sure.
An environmentalist buys an electric car, they are ignoring the mining and everything else that has to happen for the fucking those batteries and like what will happen when those batteries go bad and that car has to have those batteries replaced, or the car has to get thrown away, and can't be because you can't destroy it because these fucking batteries are so fucking toxic to the environment. But they're ignoring
That's somebody else's problem.
Yeah, but they're ignoring all that stuff, and then they're taking this thing and plugging it into a wall that's most likely getting its energy from a coal or some petroleum based power supply. but they're environmentalists. They're helping to lower emissions. Like, good job. Good job. You're doing good work.
Well,
Like-
I mean, what do you expect them to do? Like,
Not be such hypocrites and fucking like stop pretending like, oh, I'm saving the world. No, how about you actually solve the fucking problem? You want to solve the problem? Stop burning fossil fuels entirely.
but aren't they
Go to the
doing that by
source.
buying an electric car?
No, you need to go to the source, because now if everyone buys an electric car, we all do it. We all go over.
Those fucking energy grids are going to go into overtime.
Yeah, you're going to need to burn more fossil fuels to provide that level of energy, right? Because there's not enough fucking solar farms or wind mills in the fucking. You can't build enough of them to provide enough energy to compensate for that. Because it's just not a efficient enough power source.
Yeah.
So what are you going to do? You're going to burn more fossil fuels, even though everyone's electric. Woo! Wow! Look at how good we are. Great.
We are good.
Right. There's not enough. There's less smog in LA, so they can all feel good about themselves. But in
Well,
reality,
I mean, that's not necessarily a bad thing, though.
for the people in LA,
Yeah.
but you're not solving the problem.
I'm just saying.
You're not solving the fucking problem.
But you shouldn't be able to see and taste the air. But you can in LA, so.
Yeah. Well, the whole place needs to fucking fall into the water. There's a Tool song about this, actually.
So
It's
that's
called Enema.
that's a big misconception about California and everything. It's like, oh, the big one's gonna come and the half of California's gonna fall into the ocean. That's not how this works.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Am I? Do you think I'm ignorant of the fucking geological makeup of the?
I don't know.
goddamn country?
You just spat the same fucking
I
bullshit
just-
that I've been hearing since I was a kid.
I just wish it would happen.
All right, fair
that doesn't mean it will happen.
Okay,
I just wish it would happen, Jason.
that's fair enough.
But you know, if you go nuclear, guess what? That smog goes away too.
Yeah.
I'm
I'm not arguing with that. I'm saying I'm all for going full nuclear energy, but for some reason people just don't want it.
Yeah, It's just frustrating. I keep having to tell myself it's one of those. It's one of those things where I don't have any influence or power to change it, so I really need to stop being so frustrated about it.
Can we talk about going back to the whole earthquake thing? Like how much I constantly lived in fear as a kid of fucking everything that like everybody around me was telling me. First it was, you know, we're all going to die in a fucking nuclear war with Russia, right? You know, doing our nuclear drills and everything else. Then it was, you know, the big earthquake's going to come in California. At some point in the next, I would always hear this, at some point in the next 10 years, California is going to have the biggest earthquake and everybody's going to fucking die and all this other shit. And like, I constantly lived in fear of one of these fucking big things that people always were trying to warn me about was going to fucking kill me. Do you remember back in the 80s? I don't know if it happened up here, but like kidnapping was a big like story a lot. Like kids getting fucking kidnapped all the time. I was pissed scared I was going to get kidnapped on my way to fucking school one day, you know?
Oh, it's the milk carton thing. There's always kids on milk. You're going to end up on a milk carton.
Yeah. I think it was even before that time. You know, there were like these like fucking made for TV movies about this kid that got kidnapped and this other kid that got fucking kidnapped and just like I was fucking pissed scared just to live.
Terrify the children.
Yes.
Like, who was ready to stop, drop, and roll? Like, seriously.
Oh, yeah,
We all
yeah.
thought we were ready to do that at any moment's notice.
Right. Stop, drop, and make sure that your polyester clothing is going to stick to you as much as possible as you roll around on the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I don't disagree. Like, I wasn't old enough to really remember the earthquake stuff. Like, I remember earthquakes, but not like any fear of it. It's just stuff falling off the walls when we lived in San Francisco. So I don't really have any frame of reference for that. But the nuclear stuff for sure, especially in elementary school, I was like, yeah, okay, this is a real fucking thing.
yeah.
Then let's watch a video that you know is the most hyper realistic depiction of what it would look like, and let's burn that into your memories so that you can carry that around for the rest of your fucking lives. Like, you wonder why we're so goddamn scarred for this shit. Yeah, it's fair.
Yeah.
It's scar tissue that we had to build up so that we could be the well balanced human beings that we are now.
Yeah. Maybe that's why we're so fucked up.
Maybe.
Yeah.
1989. What was in 1989?
Was that the San Francisco quake?
Oh shit! It was 6.2 off in Northern Cali today.
Yeah, it's only a 6.2. They probably just brushed that off.
Probably.
The fucking Northridge quake woke me up in the middle of the night. The one from in LA in, what was it, 93? 92, 93? But this is the one where you saw those fucking images of the freeway that fell down and crushed a bunch of fucking...
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like that one woke me up
I
in
was a
Bakersfield.
junior. I think I was a junior.
Yeah, so it would have been 93, 94. But yeah, I was woken up in the middle of the fucking night to my house fucking... I'm like, whoa, what the fuck was that? But it was like really bad 100 miles away in LA. So, yeah, they got fucked. And
I distinctly remember I was watching when the what was it, 88, that big quake,
the
in
San Francisco
Fran?
one, yeah. Yeah, that happened during the baseball game.
Yeah, I was watching the World Series.
Oh, that's right, that was the World Series.
Yeah, it was the Giants were in the World Series.
That's right.
Yeah, that was insane.
Yeah,
It's absolutely fucking insane.
good shit. All right, we ready to close this up?
Pin and candy. Oh, they're talking about all kinds of shit. Quicksand.
I was gonna say Quicksand.
Oh.
It was that stupid movie. That horrible movie.
Never ending story. But no, like fucking, I would see like quicksand all the time, and people would constantly be talking about quicksand. Like, oh, if you step in quicksand, you're like fucking dead. Like you're immediately gonna drown.
This
you
is
know,
how
like
you
there's
get
no
out of quicksand, like type
yeah,
shit.
Yeah.
yeah. When
What they should have been talking about, like at least for us, was when you fall through the ice. Like how do you get it out? No, never.
not really relevant to Californians, but
Yeah.
I could see
Yeah,
where
you would have to have water to have actually freeze.
Yeah, that's not happening.
Yeah,
So
no, that was a legit thing for us, because shit would get frozen over and we'd be out there in a fucking New York second,
Yeah.
fucking goofing off on the goddamn ice, and
Oh,
kids
yeah.
would fall in all the time, and you're just like, ah.
yeah, especially you, where you guys lived in Massachusetts, I would
We
imagine.
would go out on the frozen ponds all the time. I don't even think we told our parents we were going. Like, they would have freaked out. We just went.
Yeah, you just go. I lived right on the woods, man. It was fucking broop,
That's fucking
out
crazy.
there on the fucking creek.
Like I couldn't even imagine doing that.
Dude, sledding. We'd be back fucking sledding. The little bit of hills that we have, here in South Jersey.
We have
Would
hills.
would people no, but like would people like fall through the fucking ice
Yeah.
sometimes and like just fucking just be like fucking kidsickles?
Not quite that bad, but kind of.
Wow.
Getting them out. Like by the time, so it never happened to anybody in my friend group, but I've heard of it happening, where the kid would go, another kid would be running to somebody's house to get an adult to come back, and by the time they came back, the kid was like close enough to the side. Fire department comes, kid goes to the fucking hospital, has a story to tell after he gets out of the hospital 3-4 days later.
Wow.
But yeah, they do. So around the corner from my house, at the lake there, once it freezes over, the fire department comes down there and they do like drills for like getting kids out of the fucking lake. You'll see they'll cut like, if you drive by a lake and it's got like this perfect square cut out of it, they're probably in there doing their drill where they cut the ice open. They get
Or
put
cutting an
somebody in
actual kid out of the fucking ice.
well, maybe. But yeah, like that's something they should have taught us as
Oh,
kids.
yeah.
We never,
No?
never.
Oh, that's
No,
funny.
no shit like that at all.
Yeah.
Don't shoot BB guns at fucking hornets' nests and wasp nests and trees. Bad idea.
My cousin and I learned a hard lesson about fucking with wasp nests. We had like these wiffle bats, and there was like this big fucking wasp nest, like on a fence or something. And I think I had the bright idea, like, dude, go whack that with the fucking bat, and he did, and fucking bzz, right in the fucking eye. Like for like several hours, like his head is like twice the size. His fucking eye is like super swollen up.
Oh my fucking
I'm
god!
like, oh, we fucked up.
Lunar Girl brings up hypodermic needles on the beaches. So
Was that a thing?
yeah, so they used to dump, like New York, they used to like take barges off the coast of New Jersey, and they go like, I don't know, like some not far enough away, and just dump all the fucking garbage off the coast of New Jersey. So all that garbage would get churned up and fucking wash up on the beaches. So like in the 80s, like late 80s into the early 90s, they would close beaches because there would be fucking hypodermic needles and shit like that. Like
Jesus.
hospital waste would be washing up
How?
because they fucking dumped the trash like right over there. Like it might as well have fucking not even bothered and just dumped it on the beach.
Fucking Christ.
Like because it was cheaper to fucking not take it all the way the fuck out. where were
hopefully
gonna
they
dump it.
ban that eventually.
Yeah, I mean it's a lot better now. I mean, when I was a kid, we would go down the shore, and we'd go down to Avalon, and you could very very easily end up not going in the water at all or on the beach because somebody had found some medical waste.
Jesus Christ.
So you'd end up we'd go to the fucking zoo or something down there, down to Cape May Zoo, or do something else. But
the
yeah.
fuck is wrong with people?
it's money, right? It was
Yeah.
it was cheap. It was cheaper to fucking dump it off the coast of New Jersey than it was to actually process the medical waste properly. So yeah, it was a real thing for a while.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. This is the shit we had to grow up with. And what's really funny is like, so down the street here, you know, the Cooper River
Mhm.
down there, my parents would talk about, you know, my grandfather would talk about how they, in like the 50s, that thing was basically a chemical waste dump.
Really?
Yeah. They're still like for the little industrial bases that were in there, there's fucking like Thorazine and all kinds of fucking chemical waste and shit.
Jesus
And-
Christ.
You know, my uncles and my dad, they would all fucking go swimming and shit in that thing. Like, so it's any wonder we're not all fucked up.
Yeah, right?
Yeah,
oh,
they
my
had,
God.
like, in Camden and in that area, they had,
I don't know how to respond to that.
yeah, I don't either. They had the elements, the lanterns. Ever seen those lanterns? They have they're fuel lanterns, but they have like the wicks. They look like little, like almost woven baskets, or like little bags. It's almost like a tea bag.
Doesn't sound familiar.
Anyway, those
I'm familiar with tea bags.
so those, I bet you are. Those were actually made of like some chemical that causes thyroid cancer, and apparently that, like, my grandparents like grew up in this area where they had direct exposure to it, and like this, so thyroid conditions suddenly run in the family. It's interesting.
Yeah, considering.
Yeah. So anyway,
Awesome.
radium paints dumped in it. Yeah, oh yeah, Rick knows. So yeah, it's good times. It's just amazing we made it through this.
Yeah. Crazy.
All right,
We're
let's
ready
go.
to pack it up?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for sticking around for this interesting after show discussion. And yeah, check for us on Friday. James Webb launch.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. Fucking hell. Like, my anxiety has been through the roof for months over this thing. So really hoping this goes off without a hitch. So we'll see.
Thanks, Scott. Merry Christmas to everybody.
Merry Christmas to everybody but Scott. So, all right, we'll check you guys in, or check you later.
Few days.
Yeah, we'll see.